interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special presentation on Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tipoff Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Jones fires a three, no good. Rebound, tip, grabbed by Love. Wildcats with a 3-on-1 now. Love will lob it for Johnson, and Keyshawn will throw it down for two. Timeout, Long Beach State.
Good morning to you. It is 5:30 in Arizona. The sun is coming up on a basketball Saturday, and we are here to prepare you for not just one, but how about two basketball games. The Arizona men's basketball team will play a second-round NCAA tournament game today in Salt Lake City, Utah. They will take on the number 7 seed in the West region. That would be none other than the Dayton Flyers. Only the second time ever that these two teams have gotten together. And then way over eastern bound in Storrs, Connecticut, the Arizona women's basketball team will play their second game, but a first-round game as they were relegated to the first four, where they beat the Auburn Tigers on Thursday by 10 points, 69-59. And the Wildcats will take on Syracuse, the number 6 seed, and that will be in Storrs, Connecticut, home of the University of Connecticut. Huskies, a team that has won a lot of national championships. That could be the potential next opponent in a game that would be played on Monday at a time still to be determined. It is the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show, countdown to tip-off, as it is known. Let's let you know what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, we'll review the victory. It was a 20-point victory for the Arizona men's basketball team over Long Beach State. We'll get you ready for Dayton. Take a first look at the Flyers out of the Atlantic 10. That's brought to you by Window Depot. We'll shine a spotlight on two cats. Caleb Love, Keyshawn Johnson had a chance to chat with them briefly on press conference Friday. Take a look at the scoreboard. I have not even looked to see what happened last night in the NCAA. I heard Carrington Harrison, or Harrington Harrison, I think is his name, that was on right before us on CBS, was talking about Grand Canyon. J-Dub, do you know if they even won? I don't know if Grand Canyon won.
I actually didn't even see, to be honest. Okay. I'd have to take a look.
We'll look at it.
I did see some scores from last night, but yes, they did win. It's their first ever tournament win.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to Grand Canyon, the Antelopes, for getting their win. We'll, of course, give you a preview of U of A and Syracuse on the women's side. Derek Palmer, the voice of the Arizona women's basketball team, had a chance to catch up with a pair of ladies, Jada Williams and Helena Pueno. The line on this one, your Desert Diamond Sportsbook best bets, -9.5 is the line in favor of the University of Arizona this morning, this early morning. And if you are up, we absolutely want to hear from you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Give us a call. Let me know why you're up this early, because you still have actually a few more hours you could be sleeping to get ready for this game today. JW Madden joins me. Kelvin Ifan will be along shortly. J.W. Madden, I don't know. You've been around these parts for a long time. Is this the earliest pregame show in the history of this station, or have we gone earlier than this?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be close. If there was anything close to 5:36 a.m., it would have been a tournament game, some kind of game like from Maui type of deal, an earlier game in the day. But this has to be at least tied for the earliest game.
Because I don't know that, well, you could, I guess conceivably, you could play a football game at, well, they have those games that kick off at 9. Arizona has never played in one.
Right.
If that were the case, what would we'd be on the air at 4:30 for a 9 a.m. game?
I don't want to think about that. I mean, I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm a morning person, so it doesn't. I don't have a problem getting up at 4:30.
I have never, ever been a morning person in my entire life. I had to work morning drive once in radio, and I was absolutely miserable. I can't go to bed at 7. It just doesn't work. My clock doesn't work that way. I'm the person that stays up really, really late. Like getting up, my alarm went off at 4 o'clock this morning. I'm used to in TV. I would be just getting home at 4 a.m.
Sure. Well, that's it. You get acclimated to it. So you're either you work days or you work nights, and so you think the graveyard shift must be horrible. But people who do it for years and years, they don't know any different. Back to the Grand Canyon Lopes. They won DK 75-66, pulled away in the second half with defense. A big run there in the second half. Bryce Drew, head coach at Grand Canyon University, a name that longtime NCAA fans know well.
Yeah, absolutely. Arizona knocked off Long Beach State 85-60. Tommy Lloyd just glad to get a victory.
Great job by our guys. I'm super proud of them. We're in this game as a program last year, and we don't assume or take anything for granted. So I was really proud of how we responded because, I know sitting in your guys' seat, you guys like the drama and you like all that stuff that comes with this tournament. But, there's another side of it, and it's the players and the coaches who have to actually live it and feel it. And, a lot of us are pretty tunnel vision and don't have, besides our families, a lot else in our life. So we feel the emotions, and for our guys to overcome that today, and we got off to a decent start, and they made a big run at us, and then we kind of settled in and took control from there. So really proud.
Great game for Kylan Boswell. Career high 20 points to knock down 4 trays. Kylan just happy to be able to contribute to his team's victory.
A lot of outside noise lately, just try to cancel that, make sure my mentality is good. And all my teammates, we had like a talk before we left to come down here. They want me to shoot the ball more. They have a lot of confidence in me, and I have to put more confidence in myself. And open shot for me and this team helps us. We can rebound too, one of the great rebounding teams in the nation. I got to do that. So that was kind of my main focus.
And that was one of the things we talked about yesterday, Kelvin, was the fact that he took 19 shots, the most shots that Kylan Boswell has taken in a game this season. And interesting that, he elaborated there that his teammates told him, look, man, you need to shoot the basketball. You need to shoot. That's what that's what you do. So you need to get out there and take shots.
Yeah, man, I tell a lot of guys all the time, I said, man, if you haven't took 10 shots, you don't know what your percentage is. I mean, you got it, right? I mean, you take 4 shots, man. I mean, now, if you're a bench guy and you're not one of the guys that's dependent on to be one of the scorers, okay, that's understood. But if you're a guy these guys aren't stupid. When they look at it, they see when he plays well, they win. So, and they also know, and I guarantee you Caleb Love can say this, when he doesn't play well, he gets extra attention, right? So then now both guys are struggling. So no, hey, let's all be aggressive because that's what this offense is made about. This offense is made with 5 guys on the court being a threat. And so if he's not being a threat, his guy is just another defender hanging around, making it tough for everybody.
And the problem, guys, is flow offense, motion offense style is, you got 5 threats or at least 4 threats out there on the court. And if you don't take those shots, Kelvin, we've been talking about this since last year at Stanford, when Kylan Boswell got pulled for not taking a wide open look that he got from the offense, getting him that open look. And he's got the green light. I mean, I don't care what anybody online says about Kylan Boswell's shooting ability. He's got the green light because his form is good. When he's locked in, he's one of the better shooters in the country. So he has to let that fly, Kelvin. That's what the offense does. Gets open looks for shooters or cutters to the lane for the dunk position or whatever. You got to take shots if the offense sets them up for you.
And I said this last thing, and I'm fine with his off-the-dribble threes when he uses his legs like that. When he gets deep and you see his butt go down and he comes back up, I'm fine. I just don't like the quick ones where you just shoot it, just flick the shot. Because, to me, you didn't really get to look at the rim. So I just want a good, clean look at the rim. He's a great shooter. I've been saying it all year. I said when he uses his legs, right? I didn't like the snaking, but we haven't seen that in I don't know how long. I didn't like the snake dribble coming around the screen, kind of, just looking for yourself on that one, because I thought early in the year we kind of need to establish Balo. But I knew that he was going to be aggressive. That's the Arizona offense that everybody wanted back from the Coach Olsen days. That is, right? People, that's Damon Stoudemire. That's Khalid Reeves. And you go back and look at those games, not every game was a great shooting night, but they sure shot at it.
And wouldn't you have loved for Coach Olsen, Kelvin, to have taken you out for not taking a shot?
Oh boy. And then that's what you earn as a starter. When you're a starter, you earn opportunities to take shots that some of your bench mates might can't take.
And it was the Wildcats kind of breaking this game open with a 15-zip run over the course of two halves. The final 7 points of the first half, the final 8 of the second half. Tommy Lloyd saying that they got comfortable with their zone offense.
A lot of times against the zone, you can have these great little X and O diagrams, but it comes down to your players, making plays and making good decisions and creating opportunities for themselves and others. And our guys really settled in that way. And then I thought defensively, we were able to make a couple plays. Blocked a couple shots, and we were able to get out in transition, and we feed off that stuff. You guys talking about celebrations. I mean, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but that's something we practice. You have to play with joy. We practice celebrations all the time, and we want to do things on the court that should be celebrated. We want to celebrate our teammates' successes. So, because I think that energy builds, and so I'm happy you noticed our guys having fun. That means a lot to me.
That's interesting. They practice celebrating. And in practice, you get a dunk and you go back down the floor and maybe you raise the roof a little bit.
Do I need to tell the Gumby story again, DK?
Sure.
That's the whole point.
Absolutely.
The whole point of the Gumbies and that spirit is celebrating your teammates' successes. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If you play, if you've got a bunch of quality individual talent come together as a group, Captain, you could speak on this, but the idea that a bunch of quality individuals coming together but playing for a much bigger purpose, that's what Gumby spirit is. That's what the idea of celebrating your teammates' successes. And in a flow offense, we just got done talking about it. You set a guy up for an open look, it's because you're cutting hard. It's because you're faking the pass. It's all those things that lead up to that moment, and celebrating that group of 5 on that court, Kelvin, together, making that play happen.
And the reason, and the number one reason I know why you need that, why you have to have practice celebrating, is because all these guys were just getting to know each other. So it's hard to celebrate for a guy you fighting every day at practice. People don't understand about that. It's a war at practice against each other. Your first opponent is your teammate, and coaches make you guys go at each other for those spots. So it could be a little bitterness. Trust me. After you start figuring out who's going to get the minutes and the time, so you could be on the bench, having a little grudge or something like that, right? And especially if you don't know the guy. But I think what ends up happening is what Coach said, let's practice this so we can learn how to celebrate for each other, because it's probably not natural right now because you guys don't know each other like that. And the other thing I was going to say was we used to, and I don't see this award anymore, but when Coach Olsen was here, we had the most inspirational player award. Right, and that was the most hyped guy on the bench, the guy that was always in a good mood and always trying to rub, just do whatever it takes for the team, and I go back and I think of some of those names on that list, and I happen to get a chance to win it twice myself, and it's just being happy, genuinely happy for the success of your team. That's just bottom line, what it was.
A career, second time in the career of Caleb Love that he has recorded a double-double. 18 points, 11 rebounds. Both of those double-doubles have come this season for Caleb Love, and he spoke about the freedom that he has to crash the glass under Tommy Lloyd's system.
I think Coach Lloyd and the coaching staff has been challenging me to do that all year long, and they let me go to the offensive glass, and so it's my job to deliver on that end, and so I've definitely been, locking in on that key and on that. So I think it helps the team. We can get out on the break, and when I lead the break, I feel like, I find my teammates and we have good offense.
Kelvin, maybe explain to listeners what he means by "lets me go" to the offensive glass for a shooting guard.
Well, what he means by that is most coaches are afraid of fast breaks from the other team. And they don't trust their player to understand when to crash the board, when to go for an offensive rebound, or to get back on defense. I think a lot of the trust comes from Coach Lloyd understanding that he has a senior, a 4-year guy that's a veteran, that's been around, that's played in big games. And I think the other thing is Coach understands that a team that rebounds well on offensive end, it slows the breakdown from the other guys transitioning because they have to box you out. They can't leak out and get into the break. So, and so usually I guarantee you at a school like North Carolina, they wanted Baycott to get all the rebounds, right? You go back and look at it, Baycott is the leading rebound in North Carolina history, right? So they send you back to you have to get back on defense and not be able to try to stop the transition from the other team. But here with Coach Lloyd, what he's saying is, I want you to show people that you're a well-rounded player. You're not a guy to just shoot threes and get back on defense, and you're not doing other things to make things happen. So, yeah, you have to have a coach that understands that you're smart enough to know when to crash, when to go for that offensive rebound, because you don't want to be stupid and run in for an offensive rebound and the ball bounces over your head and it goes into a fast break. So it's a lot of trust that goes in there. Yeah, there's a lot of trust that goes in that your guy understands. But you hear that from Lloyd all the time. I've been hearing it all year where he says basically that he let the guys figure it out on the floor. You're right?
When you got 4 seniors in the starting lineup, it's easier to do that, right? Yeah.
True.
Tommy Lloyd on Caleb Love's double-double.
Caleb had a double-double? Oh, my goodness. Good for him. That's great. No, hey, when Caleb's contributing in other ways, it really helps us. Obviously he's a pretty offensive-centric player. And so we can all get fixated on that a little bit. But, he made a hustle play today that really stood out to me. I think he turned the ball over and went back and blocked a layup attempt. And for him to do that was huge growth. I mean, that's a championship effort. And so I was really proud of him. And O has been so steady the last 2 months. I mean, he's just he's been a force that's hard to deal with every day. And I really admire his consistency. I mean, that's been awesome.
It was a rebound for Arizona off of last season when they lost the 2-15 game to Princeton. Tommy making sure everybody understands that it doesn't matter what these seeds say. It is the NCAA tournament. None of these wins are easy to come by.
I think the lesson, we could dissect a lot of different ways, but I think the first thing you have to acknowledge is it's hard. I mean, these games are hard. I've been in a lot of 116, 215 games, and no matter what you guys think, they're hard. And you just have to be willing to deal with that, and you have to get comfortable with hard. Because if you don't, panic can set in. And I thought our guys did a great job of, not letting the tournament pressure get in, and we turned it up and really focused one task at a time, made a few plays, and then, kind of flipped the script. And you have to make a team like that that's playing, with emotion and positivity. You got to show them the end of their season. You got to give them a glimpse of, like, if they don't start playing better, this could be it. And you got to flip the script on them. And I thought we were able to do that in the second half and kind of flip the script on them a little bit. And then they saw the end, and we didn't.
Okay.
And another team that saw the end yesterday, Wisconsin. How about that? A 12-15 upset in the NCAA tournament. James Madison knocking out the Badgers.
That was not a close game either.
No, they've got a young man, TJ Bickerstaff. I don't know if he's from the Bickerstaff.
Oh, for sure.
Basketball family.
My favorite story that came out today, though, is 8,000 Oakland T-shirts were purchased with credit cards from the Louisville area code.
Is that right?
Yeah. So a bunch of Louisville fans are now all of a sudden Oakland fans real quick after that upset of the Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky. You know how that rivalry goes between Louisville and Kentucky.
Very petty. I
let's get our first break of the morning in, and we'll come back, take our first look at the Dayton Flyers. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. Wake up with us. I feel like, I said morning drive. That's what this is. This is morning drive radio today, although I don't know if there's a lot of people out driving on a Saturday.
It is Saturday.
There you go. With J.W. Madden and Kelvin Efon, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Advanced Auto Care, Crest Insurance Group, Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Frog and Firkin, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rock & K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in-ready homes and special incentives. Live rockandk.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
If there's a hot spot in your house, you may have leaky ductwork. The Department of Energy says 95% of homes do. Those leaks can pull in dirt and humidity. I'm Ron Arenas, the owner of Picture Rocks Cooling. Ask how we can tackle those leaky ducts and keep cool air in and dirt and humidity out with AeroSeal. Call Picture Rocks at 520-440-4069.
Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 30 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona, with offices statewide, including 5 in Tucson and Southern Arizona. The Eagle gives you home court advantage. More than 1,800 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne makes the right play in any situation. So, after any accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm get you the settlement you deserve. It's a slam dunk. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE EAGLE.
What up, Tucson? This is Joseph Blair, former Wildcat and assistant coach of the Washington Wizards. When I came to play basketball at the U of A in the 90s, the Tucson community became and has always remained a special part of my life. And this is why I proudly joined the Meridian Wealth Management Tucson Advisory Business Council. If you have financial questions or concerns, please be sure and call my friends Natalie or Ruben Fernandez at 719-1433 or visit online at Meridian Wealth LLC. And as always, bear down, Tucson.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. Our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game is brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
3 to shoot. Has to put it up over. Oh, boy. An impossible shot.
over Holmes. Lead is swelled to 17. And the three finally for Brea.
Can't give that guy too many open looks, and they need to find him more.
Brea, that's what they need.
They need a lot more of that action.
His third three. Unless that lane clears out a little bit for Duran. And it does, just enough. His first field goal of the second half. Comes with 6 minutes to play. Brea, deep three. Got it! They've seen their 17-point lead dwindle to 6. Maybe to 3 if that goes. And it does. Here come the Flyers. Chance to cut it to 1 or tie it up if this goes. It does! Brea! Holmes! And it goes! Rebound Coleman. Back. Blackshear, it's not his game. And it won't go. And the Dayton Flyers pull off the second half comeback.
What a comeback from 17 points down to beat the Nevada Wolfpack and Steve Alford, our old friend from UCLA.
First of all, guys, let me say this. I never put my foot in my mouth like this. And I remember, and I'm glad you guys didn't go and cue it back from the last show. But I remember saying that, oh, it's over with. They have no chance now. They can't come back. The tougher matchup was Nevada, and I still don't know how they came back. I still don't. I mean, I do from watching it. One, Nevada took their foot off the gas, and they did the worst thing that you can do as a shooting team when you're up like that. They kept shooting. They didn't attack the lane and get in and put them in foul trouble and get easier shots and force them to have to bring the ball full court to be able to beat them. I just thought, and then they didn't add pressures, and you just didn't try to figure out different ways. They tried to coast to the victory, and I just didn't think they would do that. I thought the guard play that they had, the senior leadership that they had at guard, I thought those guys would wilt that game away. But man, hey, hats off to Dayton. Man, that's going to be a tough matchup for Dayton. I think I know they have the shooters on the outside, but I just think if Arizona locks in, it should be tough for Dayton.
Yeah, it was 56-39. That's a 17-point lead, and then the Wolfpack didn't score for the next 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 56-39, and then it was 56-56. So,
all right,
there you go.
I said if you were up, we want to hear from you. 520-848-1290 is the number. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can interact with us on our app. So download our app. In fact, text app to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link. You can download our app and be a part of all of our coverage of both the Arizona women and men's basketball teams. So Ray is up this morning, and Ray, you are on the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show on Wildcats Radio 1290.
What's up? I know you guys are shocked hearing from somebody at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, right?
It's morning drive radio. This is what we love. And a lot of people get into this business to be on the air right now.
Yeah, man, I wake up and I go play ball early Saturday morning, so I'm just happy to catch you guys. You guys do a good job. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, brother.
Hey, I got a question for Calvin, man. I think he's probably the only one that can answer this question. So I'm a Wildcat fan. I'm looking at these other teams, UConn, Houston, and, man, they just jump on teams early, and they put them away early. I'm wondering why the Wildcats don't roll like that often at all, because I want to be able to, sit down, see a 25-point lead, and then start, previewing the other team that they have to play, the next opponent. I want to have that luxury. And I wonder why Wildcats don't have that MO, or they don't know how to, put their foot on people's neck when they go up, 10 or 12 and, take it to the next level and then take it to the other level.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with, and I've said this before, I think a lot of this has to do with, if you go look at that UConn team and those Houston teams, one thing you're gonna find out is that they've been together for a while, a couple years, 3 years. And when you know each other like that and you've spent that much time together, you understand what your strengths are and who's who on the squad. I think when you're watching the Wildcats, Boswell just had 20 shots, basically. I mean, he hasn't done it all year, right? When you're watching the Wildcats, you see a team that's still figuring it out. They're still figuring it out. They're still, coming together as a unit. And most people say, well, by this time, they should already have it. Well, they do have it to an extent to where they just won the Pac-12 championship, but not to the extent of those teams that's been working together 2 and 3 years. And I just think that's the bottom line. I really do.
That's good insight, man. I did not consider that factor. You're right. I just hope I hope they can continue to figure it out at an accelerated pace, man, because I really like to see that.
Right. And if you see, and I'll say this too, and if you see some of the mid-major teams, the Daytons and some of the teams all out there, the VCUs and the Wichita States of the world, what they're doing is that they're doing exactly that. They're having guys stay around 4 and 5 years, 23, 24 years old, veterans that understand each other and understand the style of play that they do. And you're seeing it everywhere, the parity of just teams winning that you're like, how did that team just beat Kentucky?
Kentucky is 1-5 in the last 5 NCAA tournaments. So this is just the way the landscape of college basketball is. One more thing, guys. Tristan Newton and Cam Spencer, that's the 2 leading scorers for UConn. They're senior guards, Kelvin.
Yep.
So it's not just guys who stuck together, but you talk about Kylan Boswell 2 weeks from the turning 19. When you're talking about getting out to a 12, 15-point lead, Kelvin Yvonne, and you've got a guy who should be a freshman guard at this stage, that's where that consistency comes from running the offense. And I know, that you got Caleb, you got, Pell out there in the backcourt. Those guys are obviously veterans, been around there, done that. But ball handling at that level, and you know who else? Jamal Sheed is a senior as well. I mean, you're talking about the 2 teams you just mentioned, Houston and Connecticut. Their lead guards are seniors who've been there, done that. So that's steady leadership and setting the ship when the team's bogged down and not getting good shots. That comes from senior guard play. And sometimes I've seen this year, Kelvin, I don't know if this is what you're seeing, but the unit, like figuring each other out, we've seen that all year. We talking about that all year. But as far as having a senior at the point guard position is really what those 2 teams have that Arizona does not have.
Mm. Yeah, that's good insight. One more quick thing, man. I love the fact that Caleb Love did not have a stellar, great game, and he still dropped 18 and had 11 rebounds. I'm looking for him to have I'm just waiting for him to have that monster game, man. I'm glad it's in the future, and we got by that. We won by 20 points, and he didn't have a stellar game, man. I love the fact that he has a green light, too. You need somebody like that, man.
Oh, yeah, you got to have some. I always say that. You got to have a guy that isn't afraid of the moment. And I think we're lucky to have him. And I think he helps open up the court for everybody else because you have to have your eye on him. You have to game plan for him. And the more time you spend on a guy like him, it opens the door for your younger guys, the KJs, the Bradleys, the Boswells of the world, to be able to have confidence and feel good about themselves so they don't have to feel like they have to take it all on their shoulders because they do have a love on their team.
Hey, Ray,
Yes,
we appreciate you checking in.
Later, man. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you listening. 520-848-1290. If you want to jump on and talk basketball, ask a question to the captain, Kelvin Yvonne, this morning. He always has great insight. The Dayton Flyers are the opponent today. Tommy Lloyd, a little scout on the Flyers.
I think what you admire about the program is their consistency. And obviously the support there must be tremendous. I mean, I don't know a lot about the job, but when you look at a place that draws fans like they do and consistently wins over multiple coaches, that's impressive. And Coach Grant's done a great job. They're a very well-structured program. They got a plan. They play off their good players. They force you to make a lot of decisions on defense. And then, when you're on offense, they have multiple things they can do, whether it's press, zone, switch coverages in man. So, all in all, I mean, they make you reach deep into your bag.
And one of the players we're going to see a lot of today is Deron Holmes II, a.k.a. Deuce Holmes, out of Gilbert Mesquite High School, and Keyshawn Johnson, a little bit of a scout on what the Wildcats can expect from Deuce.
We know he's a freak athlete. We know he's very skilled on offense and everything. So we just got to try to make it tough on him. We know he's gonna make tough plays. You know, that's the price you got to pay when you're going up against just great individuals. So we just got to just stick to our game plan, whether it's just trying to contest every shot, keep him off offensive glass. We know he's active. So, but you know, with those players, you just got to respect them and just try to make their night as hard as possible.
And what did you think of Dayton's comeback? I don't know if you got to watch it live or just saw it on film, but what does that tell you about them?
It's March, baby. It's March. That's all you can really say. You know, Nevada, they did a great job of having the lead, but you know, Dayton just showed grit. We know that we're going into playing against a gritty team, and it's March. Anything can happen.
And what's scary about the Dayton Flyers, they are a team that shoots the three ball well. They've made 303 threes on the season. Arizona, by comparison, has made 271. Caleb Love discussed defending a three-point shooting team like the Flyers.
Making it tough for them, getting them out their actions, and making it physical, making a physical game. Just talking on the defensive end, communicating, and being tight on our switches and things like that. So I think it won't be it'll be a tough task, but we're ready for it. We've been preparing for it all year long. We play teams that shoot the three, and so I think we just gotta be tight with our switches, be better with our communication, and just knowing personnel.
Caleb Love has made 89 threes on the season. Kobe Brea for Dayton has made 96. He shoots it at a 50% clip. 50%.
No, that's catch and shoot. No, that's catch and shoot.
Tommy Lloyd on Kobe Brea's shooting ability.
I mean, listen, he's a coin toss guy, which is crazy. I mean, it's a 50% three-point shooter. Like you flip a coin, he's going to make or miss it, and that's exceptional shooting. So, yeah, I mean, you're like, wow. I mean, this is a guy who's got a quick release, a good shooting pocket that's high, and can get it off, basically when he wants. And they do a great job spacing the floor and putting him in positions where you got to make decisions. So, obviously, an elite shooter and a very good player. And yeah, I mean, he's dangerous. And it looked like Nevada was having their way with him for quite a while yesterday. And then, I thought Dayton's pressure on defense really changed the game, and then kind of got a few transition opportunities when they made threes and closed that gap quick. And I've been there. When you close that gap quick in a tournament, the momentum shifts, the feeling in the building shifts, and it can be a lot for a team to like the team in the lead to overcome. So just really impressed by Dayton, their plan, how to utilize their personnel, and obviously they have some elite shooters in Brea's number one on that list.
Since you gave Caleb Love's and Brea's three-point shooting makes this season, DK, I think the full story, we should probably tell that too. Brea has made 25 two-pointers. There's 25 two-pointers. You want to know how many two-pointers Caleb Love has made this season?
About 100.
Yeah, 130.
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
That's that.
It was a 17-point comeback by the Flyers on Thursday over Nevada. The fellas talk about that. You'll hear Darren Holmes, Nate Santos, and Kobe Brea. And we'll hear from them coming up a little bit later. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. That's your first look at the Dayton Flyers.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every night. It's the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight on the post-game show. Let's hear from those Flyers on their big comeback as we head into break.
Everything. Defense, offense, rebounding, communication, listening to coaches, teammates, all that. It just takes you to buy in. That's what it takes, and we got a team that does that pretty well, so that's what happens.
Yeah, I'll say just a combination of all those things. But, we really locked in on defense. I think that helped us up on offense, and, I think that was fueled just by our belief.
Yeah, I agree with all of them, but I think most importantly, it's just the mindset, just understanding that there's still a lot of time on the clock, and we can make something happen, and just believing in each other and having faith in each other and understanding that in order for us to do that comeback, we have to, do it on the other side of the floor and get stops on defense, and, that'll make it possible for us to get some points on the board as well, and, just take it one possession at a time.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic offers military discounts to retired and disabled veterans. And they now accept patients with access insurance. For more information and to find the location nearest you, visit firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
Get ready to score big at Champ's Kitchen and Bar, your new go-to spot for sports and fun. Join the grand opening for specials now through April the 8th. $5 pizzas, $5 burgers, $5 pitchers. It is a slam dunk deal you don't want to miss. Champ's Kitchen and Bar, the new MVP of sports bars here in Tucson. Check them out, 7625 North La Cholla Boulevard.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out.
Ew, my feet are stuck.
And what, honey?
On the floor.
Ew. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisa Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good, until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Go to the Good Feet store at 4811 East Grant Road or at goodfeet.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and so are the allergies. I'm Janae Arenas, and if you're a mom like me, you're concerned about how clean the air is that your family is breathing. That's why we offer duct cleaning, aeroseal duct sealing, and air purification. Call us at Picture Rocks Cooling at 520-440-4069. Your family deserves to breathe clean, healthy air.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Saguaro Harley-Davidson is a pre-owned inventory destination with hundreds of pre-owned Harley-Davidson motorcycles to choose from. Save $2,000, $4,000, or even $6,000 at Saguaro Harley's pre-owned clearance sale. Now through the end of the month, Saguaro is accepting 100% of all credit applications with low financing options available. Take a test ride and receive a free dealer tee. Only at Saguaro Harley-Davidson or online at saguaroharley.com. Some restrictions may apply. OAC, see dealer for details.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats throw it inside. This time, Ballo gets behind the defense. Pass from Boswell, and Umar slams it home for 2. And the Wildcats down by 3.
Umar Ballo had his 18th double-double of the season in the Wildcats' first-round win over Long Beach State. Welcome back to the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. Also brought to you by Dave and Buster's, the best place to eat, drink, and play while watching this morning's game between Arizona and Dayton. In fact, I almost have to look up what places, we talked about this yesterday, what places are going to be open today. Is Dave and Buster's even going to be open?
We did get a call
9:45 a.m.
We did get a call very late yesterday on the show, and they told me that Tommy Lloyd's favorite place to bust out a napkin will be open this morning early. For the game.
So Bob Dobbs will be open.
That is correct.
Okay, we know cold beer and cheeseburgers is going to be open. My wife and some of her friends, they do it. They get up and they walk every Saturday morning, and then they're going to go there after their walk and watch the game. It says Dave & Buster's doesn't open till 10, so I don't know if they're opening early. If you work at Dave & Buster's, let us know. 520-848-1290.
You know what else isn't open, guys? Bakeries. The bakery's open at 6. So I couldn't even get any donuts if I wanted to bring them in this morning because we had to start at 5:30. So I couldn't even get a dozen donuts and bring them in.
Well, I mean, that's the elephant
breakfast.
in the room. That is the elephant in the room, Kelvin. This, 10:45 local time start in Salt Lake City. Obviously, 9:45 here in Tucson. Have you ever seen anything like this? And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure games start early. I mean, but to have essentially a game in the western part of the country starting this early, I don't know that I've seen that very often.
Yeah, I mean, during this time when you're doing NCAA tournament, I mean, they don't have anything to do with us on the West. It has more to do with the East Coast as far as, how they set the time. So that's perfect time for the East Coast people at 12:30, 12:45. So I think it's more about that. But during the NCAA tournament, I think as far as a player is concerned, it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody, Dayton has to go through that as well, right? That they have to play early. So you can't get caught up on what time it is. You just enjoying being in the NCAA tournament, and you're looking like, hey, if we win, we got all day to watch games and rest up and chill, and got plenty of time to get on our next plane to get to where we got to go.
Let's hear from Tommy Lloyd on this early start today.
No real significant difference. The only one would be is you don't get like a physical walkthrough or shoot around. So you just have to kind of load up a little bit more the day ahead. But this time of year, I mean, you're playing a team you haven't played all year. You're playing a team that you're really not familiar with, and that works both ways. So it's a short prep. So you kind of got to rely on what you do and what you do best, I think, at the end of the day. And that's generally going to be the answer to your problems when facing an opponent on a quick turnaround that you're not familiar with.
Yeah, and again, no walk. How important is that, I guess? I mean, Kelvin, you were around. I mean, I'm sure there were games where you didn't have shoot around, didn't have that normal schedule. I mean, does that affect guys to be able to not get in there before game, several hours before game, and get shots up and kind of get loose?
Well, this is what I'll say. Do the other team get to get in there and we don't?
No.
So we both don't get to do it.
Right, yeah.
Hey, fair game. Fair game. That's where we at. So, I mean, I can't complain if the other team don't get the extra time either.
The other part is, if you're Rick Majerus and you're trying to, take down that 98 U of A team, you got to put in some junk. You got a triangle and two, Kelvin. Arizona today is not going to change much of anything of what they're doing to try to take on the Flyers. So that walkthrough, right, is so important if you're trying to figure out some new technique to take a team out. But Arizona's just going to play Arizona basketball.
Now, let me tell you about that walkthrough. If a coach want that walkthrough, they'll have it in the ballroom.
Yeah.
They have it in the parking lot. If you want that walkthrough, I'm going to get you up.
Well, like Maui in tournaments like that, they always got to do that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. We had a trash can right there. Coach put the trash can over there like it's the basket, and we walk around in the ballroom and execute what we're trying, who we're going to double and who we're going to rotate from and all the different things. So, that part to me really is the missed time getting to shoot around, getting the extra shots up. But again, if the other team ain't getting extra shots, the way my mind works is fair game. I mean, the way a competitor mind works should be fair game. Now, I'm not, I wouldn't allow it, as long as they're not getting the shots up. So I'm fine with it. We're going to get out there at the same time, and it's go time.
As long as both nets are holding the ball up in there, that's fine.
Now, I'm going to tell you something what I know crafty coaches will do. They will get up early and go find an outdoor court somewhere and where you can get some shots up. I mean, guys will. I mean, you would be surprised. Some guys might say, we got NIL money now, but even when we didn't have NIL money, you know what guys would do? They would go to LA Fitness and go get a couple extra shots up if they needed to or whatever, because we have personal time in there too, where we have time before we have to get together and everything. So don't get it twisted, man. If a guy wants to get up some extra shots, or if a coach wants to get up some extra shots, he'll find a local park somewhere and give those guys a chance to shoot around a little bit.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. If you'd like to get in on the show this morning, if you're just getting up and getting psyched for this game that's going to start in a little over 3 hours and want to talk about it, we are here for you. Rich Carrillo checks in on Twitter. He says, the boys from Ohio are no slouches. They'll bring their A game, rest assured. As a kid, I remember watching Dayton's prolific guard, Johnny Davis. He was silky smooth and played hard. U of A had better fasten their seatbelts this morning. I remember Johnny Davis as a Cavalier back in the day. Let's shine a light on a couple of our Wildcats.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Caleb Love, Keyshawn Johnson. They are two young men who have been to this level and have gotten to the final stage, the national championship game. Caleb Love with North Carolina, Keyshawn Johnson with San Diego State last year. I had a chance to catch up with the two of them yesterday and kind of get a sense of the win over Long Beach State. Caleb, 11 rebounds on Thursday night. What's your mentality when you're able to get to the rim and grab the ball off of it like that?
Just to start the break. When just helping Big O, he may have a big task as far as boxing out his own man, or Keyshawn might be battling with his man. And so I just can, help them out and then just lead the break and then get easy, fast break points.
And did you have to tell Colin to dunk that basketball? Because it looked like he was about to leave it to you.
Nah, he had his mind set up as soon as he got that ball. Yeah, he was. But I did give him a little extra. Go ahead and go. I wish he would have got a better dunk.
Caleb, you mentioned Umar Ballo, and for both you guys, he's averaging 4 blocks a game the last 4 games. What's gotten into him that you're seeing him attack the ball more of late?
He's been a big man in the middle all year. He's helped us so much throughout the year as far as, being a big presence down there on the offensive end and defensive end. I think, he's the best big in the country when he's playing like that, and he helps us a lot. If one of us gets beat, he's helping us vertical contest, or he's blocking the shot. And then on defensive end, on the offensive end, he's the big man in the middle, so he draws a lot of attention. So if he's not laying the ball up or dunking it, he's drawing a lot of attention and kicking out for us for easy threes. So I think he's a big part of us winning, and he's going to be a big part of us winning down the stretch.
Keyshawn, are you seeing the growth of Umar being more active at the defensive end, trying to knock balls away?
I played against him in Maui last year, so I knew what he was capable of. That's probably one of the reasons why I came here. For all of us, Omar he's an insurance policy on the defensive end. Just like if we get blown by, we know somebody got our back, and we got to come and crack down. But he's an all-around force: defense, rebounding, dunking the ball, just drawing so much attention, as Caleb said. So he just made the game so much easier on us, and we all make the game easier on each other. But he's for sure a great help, great asset to our team.
And for you, Key, you had 10 points in that 15-0 run that crossed over the halves. What was happening for you that you were able to take over the game in that way?
Arizona basketball is happening for me. we were just able to get out, get on a break. Caleb was able to give me a lob, just running the floor, had a couple corner threes, just swinging the ball. That's the game of basketball, everybody going to get their chance. I wasn't trying to force nothing. Every shot I shot, I felt like it was going to go in, and those 10 points went in, So the game of basketball is so unpredictable. You just got to run, and the ball will find you. You just got to do your job.
Thanks, fellas. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
As today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Yeah, we finally figured out the Zoom game so we could get in on some of these press conferences that are happening across the country.
DK
Salt
had
Lake
the whole
City.
press conference to himself, Kelvin. He's the only one on Zoom, so they did all the people who were in the building in the room, and then they said anybody on Zoom, and DK was the only one, so he got to ask 5 straight questions to Tommy, 5 straight questions to those
Well, they
two.
shut my mic off for Tommy. They're like, you only getting 2 questions just after I last asked 5 there with the players. I think they shut me down to 2 for Tommy Lloyd. Well, so we got DK with TL coming up for you a little bit later. Sponsored by nobody, but we're going to have it today. So, Keyshawn Johnson, again, those are the type of performances, guys, that you need in games like this. That game was tight. Wildcats got up early. Long Beach State had their run, and then Keyshawn in that critical 15-0 run. 10 points. And what I liked about it was we saw him do a little bit of everything. We saw him make that nice move underneath the basket to score. Then he stepped out and made the corner 3. J-Dub talked about that on the post-game show. And then he scored in transition off of a lob dunk, on a lob dunk from Caleb Love. Really showing the range of his offensive game in that sequence.
That's what you love to see from your senior leaders, especially at this point in the season. Again, a new guy, but now it's your team. These your brothers. It's your family. And now it's time to step on the gas. So that's what you want to see out of guys that's seniors. You want to see a level of stepping up. You want to see a level of confidence and giving the young guys somebody that they can depend on. So it was great to see that from him. He's capable, and it's just time. It's now or never.
You know what I see, guys? I see perfect roster construction. Pella Larson and Keyshawn Johnson are the 2 most versatile players on the team. Talk about inside, outside, all that stuff. Guess who gets 0 extra defensive attention, Kelvin? Pella Larson and Keyshawn Johnson. They're not sending an extra defender. They got that guy on Ballo. They got making sure Caleb doesn't get off. So those 2 guys are generally going to be, the 3rd and 4th options from the defensive perspective as far as the scout goes. But we talk about when Keyshawn gets that outside shot go, and obviously we know about his slashing ability, getting out and running in the fast break, running the lanes. Keyshawn has every bit of capability of anybody on this team of getting that quick 7-10 points. And that's a lot to do with just how he could score 3 different levels. You've been seeing that mid-range lately. But again, if you're talking about Umar, they don't want Umar Ballo to score 30, Kelvin. Every single team we've seen recently is selling out to make sure Umar doesn't get dunks under the rim. So Keyshawn, Pella, those kind of guys, they're the ones who have to take advantage of those defensive, not really caring too much about what Pella and Keyshawn are doing because, hey, guess what? There's 5 threats on the team. Perfect roster construction. Those 2 versatile guys got to take advantage of those opportunities.
All right, it is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show, getting you set for Arizona and Dayton on the men's side. We'll also take a look at the ladies' game coming up today. That is a 12:30 start for Arizona against Syracuse in Storrs, Connecticut. You will hear that game over on Freedom 1400 KTUC. Coverage begins with Derek Palmer at 12:15. We'll hear from Derek Palmer a little bit later as he had a chance to catch up with Jada Williams and Helena Puello.
I got the numbers, the stats. You ready?
Yes, give us the stats.
High of 49, low of 27.
Oh, in Storrs?
In Storrs, Connecticut today. Tucson, high of 77, low of 50.
Yeah, well, and shout out to our colleague PJ Brown from the Arizona Daily Star. I guess she took a fall. I don't know if it was on ice or what.
Get well soon.
Yeah, but took a little bit of a fall in Storrs. Had to go to the hospital, but was right back in her seat for game day covering the Arizona Wildcats. So PJ, I mean, look, nothing's gonna hold that lady down. She knows how to do it, and
she's
does
a pro
it so well.
Absolute
pro.
I was gonna ask you, DK and guys, what is this about them staying an hour, 45 minutes away?
It's
because it's a small
it's
place.
like a little small town. It's like, I mean, this is like literally a college town.
How many teams?
I mean, yeah, there's like,
how many teams are there?
Well,
like
there's
8?
Yeah, there would have been
including
2 extra players. I mean, there's 6 teams because they had to play the extra game.
4 plus 2. So that's 6 fan bases all got to fit into this tiny little town. That's why,
yeah. So it's like Bristol. I mean, you have all these little small towns with these major things going on.
You know what they should have did? I thought about. I said, what about an Airbnb? Should have got an Airbnb in the town somewhere.
I don't know. I don't know if that's in the budget. See, now Kelvin over here trying to break the budget. We got financial issues.
Hey, with all that, I mean, she been getting $7,000-8,000 in the gym now. Come on now. I mean, this is pretty important.
Desiree was like, Airbnb? What the hell are you talking about?
Again, I will say this. If the other teams have to deal with that, then it's fair game.
Yeah, well, that'd be interesting. I don't know where everybody else is staying, but all right, it's the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. It's Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Advanced Auto Care, Crest Insurance Group, Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Frog in Firkin, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Explore natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park within the Vail School District. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rock & K with home savings up to $35,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. Live RockandK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hi, this is Mike Hanley, former president of Bank of Tucson, and I'm thrilled to announce that I have joined the Advisory Business Council of Meridian Wealth Management and Natalie Fernandez-Lee, Meridian's partner and advisor, who I am a great fan of. She has worked with many individuals and businesses in the community for decades. We live in crazy times these days and need the right financial advice, which is so important. If you'd like to talk to Natalie, give her a call at 719-1433 and have a great day.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's a party 100 years in the making, and all of Tucson is invited. Saturday, March 23rd, starting at 11 a.m., we'll kick off our 100-year anniversary party at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Along with the Chevy Classic Car Show, there'll be food trucks, balloon twisters, a caricature artist, and much more. Our cake cutting ceremony will start at 5 p.m., and our prize cutting, well, that's been going on for more than a century. So put it in your cell phone for the 23rd and see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or go to O'Reilly.com for more details. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way, and we all know that extreme heat comes next. Right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, 6 decades of service, and dozens of top shop awards, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. This month, get back big rebates on all your favorite major brand tires. Save more on the most affordable, long-lasting tires. Check out jackfurriers.com for details and money-saving coupons. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. When I need a winning strategy for my team, nothing beats knowledge and skill. That's why I recommend Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing for all your home service needs. Having personally witnessed the impact of hard work and dedication, Right Way brings the same commitment to your home's comfort. Whether it's HVAC, plumbing, or electrical, their team always delivers excellence. With a legacy of quality service since 1959, you know you're in good hands. So give your home the best. Choose Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Call or text 520-640-CATS or visit rightwayac.com.
What do you mean, trenchless?
Means no trench.
But it's the sewer line.
And they did it without ruining my yard.
The yard we're standing in?
The very same.
I don't know if I trust that.
I trust that because I trust them.
Them?
Ram Plumbing.
Locally owned and operated Ram Plumbing, offering a comprehensive range of plumbing services from fixtures to installation to trenchless sewer replacement. Turn to Tucson's most trusted plumber. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Hour number 2 of this 3-hour flight to Arizona basketball today. We'll hear from Colin Boswell on his dunk coming up here. We'll check in on the Arizona women's basketball team as they get ready for Syracuse. Hear from Derek Palmer, Jada Williams, Helena Puello. Our view from courtside today will be U of A basketball radio analyst Ryan Hansen. And we've got our best bets. Arizona is a 9.5-point favorite. The over-under on this one is 150. And our opponent scouting report today will be delivered by David Jablonski. He is the beat writer that covers the Dayton Flyers for the Dayton Daily News. Colin Boswell had a pretty nice play in the game on Thursday.
Here's Traore down to the baseline. Throw it in the lane. Ball knocked away. Loose and a steal. Here's Boswell. A 3-0. And Kylan will up and dunk it.
Is that his first dunk of his Wildcat career? It might be. Timeout, Long Beach State.
18 points for Kylan Boswell today.
It was indeed the first dunk of Kylan Boswell's collegiate career, and Pella Larson, for one, was thrilled.
You know, he's been wanting that one for a long time, and we've been on him about it. So I was really hyped for him, and I'm sure he was he was out of this world. And we said, yeah, congratulations, you got your dunk, first one.
How about that dunk, Kylan?
That was big time. I can't. That was big.
Yeah, it's your first of the year?
Yeah, it's my first one here, yeah.
You were going to pass it up to
Nope.
You weren't?
No, I looked at Caleb. No, he looked at me. I was dunking that one. he has enough dunks.
If you were to grade that dunk.
Oh, no, that was like a 4, like a 5. Something like, it was gross and ugly, but a dunk is a dunk. I don't care.
It was gross.
You know what it reminded me of? His dunk in his commercial.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, the Sarita Holmes commercial, yeah.
Just like that dunk.
Well, he is a guard. But apparently there was some shoes on the line. I guess Caleb promised him a pair of Kyrie Irvings, I think it was, or one of the fancy shoes of the moment. If he got his first dunk at some point. So he finally gets to get those shoes from Caleb Love. Keyshawn Johnson on Kylan's dunk.
He was able to show us he had a little something. It was still iffy, but kudos to him. He got a little ups on him. Hopefully, because he bobbled the ball. So next time if he don't bobble the ball, it might look a little better.
And you know what else I heard there that was pretty cool is that Caleb is able to give him some shoes.
Yeah, right.
Thanks to NIL.
Yeah,
Thanks to, I guarantee you wouldn't be able to afford those. You might be able, because they got the contract with Nike, to be able to figure it out to get them to them. But, to be able to have that NIL, the love that guys are able to show to their teammates. I remember Caleb Williams buying his teammates watches and different things like that, man. And Shador, Sanders. It's just cool to see some of the things that the guys do with NIL. I even heard of guys flying other people's family members to games or whatnot.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool, some of the stories that's come out, about the NIL.
All right, Arizona women's basketball has a game today as well. They will take on Syracuse in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Now, the Wildcats were in a first four game on Thursday. They played Auburn, a battle of a seventh-place team from the SEC and the seventh-place team for the Pac-12, and the Wildcats never trailed in that game. They won by 10 points. They were led in scoring by Jada Williams, who had 17 points. Helena Puello, who had 16 points in the ball game. Derek Palmer had a chance to catch up with both of those young ladies ahead of today's game against Syracuse.
We have Wildcat freshman Jada Williams and fifth-year player Helena Puello talking to us before their ball game in the first round of game against Syracuse. And Jada, take us through the emotions that you were experiencing on Selection Sunday.
Yeah, me personally, as a freshman, I didn't really know what to expect. Never been in that situation before, really. So I'm looking up to the big dogs like Helena and just seeing like what's going on. And then to see her so excited is kind of what we've been playing so hard for this year. We know that this is their last year. This is kind of their last run to make in college. So we're just trying to play as hard as we can for them. So it was super cool to see that, and it made me feel good and made me feel prepared. And like we got some experience and some mentors to help us go into this run.
Same question for you, Puello. What was it like for you emotionally?
It was amazing. I mean, I was just really happy just because I knew it was going to be my last March Madness. So I was just really happy about it and just having the opportunity to play for the last time here in this state. So, and hopefully we can go like 3 years ago to the Final Four.
Was it unexpected for you when you saw the name come up?
Not really. I mean, I knew we were going to make it, but when I saw the name on it, I was just like really, really, really happy. So, and I think we are in a really good position right now, in a really good bracket. So I think we have a lot of chances to deep run. Sorry.
Well, what's mentoring Williams been like for you?
Amazing. I mean, I told her before, like when I was a freshman, I wasn't like her, and then I see her like as a senior now. Like she plays, she knows all the system, like defensively, offensively, everything. So I'm just really happy for her, and I think she's just gonna be the next like real Wildcat for this program. So I'm just really happy for her.
What have you taken away from any of the teachings that she's given you?
Yeah, I think coming in, I already knew she was a really good player, but now like we'll go back and watch film, and like yesterday I back cut just to do it, and like she actually saw me. So I just feel like being able to take over and not force things, being patient, let the game come to you. That's really what I've learned from her. She's a patient player, but she knows when to take over, and she can do that. And so just learning how to be stable on the court, whether it's defense, offense, just being a really well-rounded player. She can guard anybody in the country, so that's kind of what I'm looking up to most right now.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Derek Palmer, the voice of Arizona women's basketball, along with Jada Williams, the talented freshman guard, Helena Puello, the talented senior who once again played 39 minutes in that win over Auburn. 16 points, 4 assists, 3 steals for Helena Puello. It was win number 150 for Adia Barnes in her head coaching career here at the University of Arizona. Not an easy feat for sure.
I didn't know. I was like, wow, that was that hard for 150 wins. I'm looking at Tara like, oh, I don't know if I'd make it to 1,000. Really special. I think a lot of people, they weren't sure if we were going to be here. We knew we thought we should be here, but just proud. We start 3 freshmen. And freshmen make mistakes, and freshmen are freshmen. They always say the good thing about us sophomores, they're not freshmen anymore, but I think that we battle, and I think you can't measure heart. I don't think we're the most talented team, but we fight. We play for 40 minutes or however long it takes. We played a ton of overtime games this year, but very proud to do it with this group. We play 7. They play a lot of minutes. We fight. We never give up, and I think just to go in yesterday, it was a really physical game, and it was funny because we're known to play for pretty physical, but the Pac-12 is not nearly as physical as SEC, and that showed yesterday. But just to go out and with foul trouble still find a way, just proud. And Helena, I think, has really stepped up and led us. She's the only player that's remaining from the Final Four team. So it shows. She has poise and composure, and she's a leader, and she kind of took over at some points in the game. And we're just finding ways to win. Jada didn't play her best game offensively, but what she did was she wasn't hitting shots, so she attacked the rim and got to the free throw line. So This team is so resilient, has so much heart, and those are things that aren't measurable.
Yeah, how about the fact that, well, again, looking at Helena Puello, I mean, she scored 16 points. 14 of those came in the second half.
Did you see that
of that
Kelvin?
game?
So she got stripped, and then she got bumped chest to chest, and then she came back with that sweet right over left cross behind the back for separation, and she pointed at that girl. Oh, man. Oh, Kelvin. That was a leader taking
it's like a fire
upper,
got set in her after that steal.
Upperclassman just saying, "This is my moment. This is my time. Try and stop me." It was just so sweet.
Yeah, that was very uncharacteristic of Helena Puello, but you love to see it.
And when I saw it, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, we need more of that.
Right.
Right. So what we have to do to trigger that?
Well, that's what I've been saying all for the last 3 or 4 years. It's like, man, I want to see that fire.
I didn't know
all
she
the
had
time.
it like that, though.
But there's only one person who needs to know that, and that's her. And now she know. I mean, that moment in time, that's in her head now, right? I mean, so next time the Cats, really need a bucket.
Well,
DK's
I
asking.
disagree with you there. Her teammates know it too now.
Well, yeah,
I'm sure they knew it from practice.
Of course,
I'm guarantee you she be murdering them in practice.
Well, they don't really practice.
Right, well, that's true.
DK started this year out by saying he wanted to see 4 or 5 field goal attempts, right? And just up it from like the 3 or 4 numbers that we were seeing. But that was a moment. I think she took that shot, Kelvin, then came down the next time, hit a baseline jumper. So it wasn't just the one. It was like a takeover.
She dropped the 2.
It was like a takeover moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when, they had like the 12, 14-point lead the whole game. They cut it down to 5, and that whole stretch from about 8 minutes left in the game till about 2 minutes left was right around 5. It kept going back and forth. 5, 3, 5, 7, 5. It was hovering around that 5 spot, and Helena just took that game over.
Arizona is now 8. Or I should say, Adia Barnes is now 8-3 in the NCAA tournament. The Wildcats have won at least one game in the NCAA tournament. Their last 5 trips, 4 of those have come under Adia Barnes. So, again, you look at this team, and they've got, a tough assignment in Syracuse. They're doing it with essentially an 8-7 rotation, 8 players total. They've adopted a motto known as 10 toes down. We've heard that throughout the second half of the season. Brea Cunningham and Skylar Jones explaining exactly what that means.
10 toes down is kind of like something that we've, as a group, it's like our motto as the season went on. Like, just 10 toes down in everything we do. We're doing it for each other. It kind of just means like 10 toes down, like we're standing for us.
Yeah, 10 toes down. It's like a saying that we had really telling it because something was happening. We were just telling D, we're 10 toes down with you. Like, we have your back. Like, the 8-7 that you have, like, we're here for you. We're going to do it for you. Like, we have it, we're going to hold it down for you. And then that's just a model that just kept going on throughout the year. And it just shows, that shows how tight of a group that we are, that we all, we have a little shirt that says it. We have it on our whiteboards and everything. So it's just really important saying for us, and it means a lot.
That's part of, again, it's a part of the lexicon of sports. Teams, they have mottos. I mean, we can go all the way back to, my uncle played in the World Series unfortunately against the Pirates, and the Pirates had "We Are Family" back in the day. I mean, you can just go down the list of teams and mottos. Was there one, Kelvin, that you guys had on anything, or was there something that you guys gravitated to? We've heard, teams will gravitate to songs, the Giants and Steve Perry and all that kind of thing, and the Steelers and Sticks. Was there a motto or something you guys grasped, or a team song that kind of got you motivated?
Well, I thought stay together.
Stay together.
That was the one thing that we said every time, after every break, every time we got together, was stay together. And it seems simple, but even to this day, when me and my teams break it down, we say stay together. And the thought behind it is no matter how hard it gets, no matter how far we get down, no matter how many interceptions, how many fumbles, how much points they up, stay together and don't give up. That was our thing, stay together. And then back in the day, they had the Master P, had the No Limit Soldiers. Soldiers.
Yeah.
So we used to always, that was one of our songs that we sung, No Limit Soldiers, that we were soldiers. I mean, we're football players, not soldiers, don't disrespect. But with that being said, it was just that mindset of soldiers.
Yeah.
Keep marching.
Right.
Keep carrying. If Coach Tommy, man, that was a great guy. Man, look at them goosebumps. Coach Tommy, man, he told us one time, and I didn't even know this, the Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah.
Right? The Buffalo Soldiers carried the flag. They weren't even American citizens. And they was carrying the flag, and they're in war, and the guy kept getting murdered who was carrying the flag. The next guy keep picking up the flag. The next guy keep picking up the flag. I mean, and even to this day, man, the goosebumps come over my body because it make you realize, like, no matter what happens, when you care for your family, when you care for your team, you just keep picking up the flag and you just keep going.
Absolutely. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. Kelvin Efon, J.W. Madden getting you set for 2 basketball games on the men's side, Arizona and Nevada. On the ladies' side, Arizona and Syracuse.
I got your mystery of your housing situation in stores solved.
Okay.
So there are 2,500 total housing units in Stores, Connecticut.
That's
by relative comparison, Tucson has 210,000 plus.
Oh, wow.
So there really just isn't a lot of space. Hartford, right down the street. Stores just doesn't have the space for 6 different teams and all of their, managing, traveling fans and boosters and all that stuff.
There you go. Man, let's, again.
15,000 people. That's the census population.
True college town.
Yeah, 15,000 people in Stores, Connecticut.
Yeah, they've got some great, it's a great basketball town. You can't argue about
one of
that.
the best.
It is. All right. Much more coming up for you. I'm David Kelly. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Blue Whale Car Wash, Caruso's Italian Restaurant, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, The Diamond Store, Goldberg and Osborne, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Nova Home Loans, Recon Auto Detail, Ride Now Power Sports Tucson Police Department.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit novahomeloans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. When I need a winning strategy for my team, nothing beats knowledge and skill. That's why I recommend Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing for all your home service needs. Having personally witnessed the impact of hard work and dedication, Right Way brings the same commitment to your home's comfort. Whether it's HVAC, plumbing, or electrical, their team always delivers excellence. With a legacy of quality service since 1959, you know you're in good hands. So give your home the best. Choose Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Call or text 520-640-CATS or visit rightwayac.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way, and we all know that extreme heat comes next. Right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, 6 decades of service, and dozens of top shop awards, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. This month, get back big rebates on all your favorite major brand tires. Save more on the most affordable, long-lasting tires. Check out jackfurriers.com for details and money-saving coupons. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, here to get you there.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. It's time now to take you down the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
And our view from courtside this morning comes from the analyst on the Arizona Wildcats radio network, Ryan Hansen, who started his path in hoops much like me as a team manager in college. For the U of A, of course. Not me, him at the U of A, me at USC. Ryan, what was the vibe like on Friday for the Wildcats in between coming off the win against Long Beach State and getting ready for the Dayton Flyers?
Hey, David, it's a great day, and the Thursday, Friday of the first round of the NCAA tournament is one of my favorite times of the year, and it gets better when you win on Thursday early and you just get to sit back and watch teams drop. Auburn goes down, Florida goes down. I mean, just, seeing these great teams lose, and hey, we're still here. And you could sense that, David. I was able to go to practice, talk to the players in the locker room after practice. There's no doubt in my mind that they're looser having won that first game. And say what you will, there's pressure to win in that first round game, even if you won last year. Look at Florida Atlantic. They're done.
Yeah.
They went to the Final Four, and they're done. There's pressure in game one no matter what.
So I want to start with Oumar Ballo because obviously he's been fabulous down the stretch for this team. He is shooting 84%, I think, in the last 6 games, but he's only taking like 4 or 5 shots per ball game. In terms of statistically, do you think that they need to try to get him more shot attempts?
Yeah, I'll start first. The game was outside shots were predicated because of how the defense was playing. So Long Beach State zoned, packed it in. They pretty much told Arizona, we're not going to let you throw it to Ballo and pick us apart. We're going to surround him with the zone, and we're going to dare you to shoot threes. And fortunate for Arizona, the 3 ball was falling. It started to loosen up the zone. Ballo got more touches. Second half, we saw 3-4 possessions of man-to-man defense, and 2 of them resulted in a Ballo finish. One was the lob dunk. So teams are going to strategically try to take Ballo out of the game for a couple reasons. You just said it, 84%, field goal percent shooter. You can't let him get to the rim. Secondly, you put your team in foul trouble. If he gets it down low, you get into foul trouble. You're going to put Arizona at the line and going to have your bigs sitting on the bench. And with all that said, David, I could not agree with you more. For Arizona's best chance to win, they cannot stray from their DNA, which is an inside-out team. It starts with putting pressure at the rim with Oumar Ballo.
And then I want to switch over to him defensively. We're seeing him go after more blocked shots, which he wasn't really doing early in the season. I remember that was one of the things I pointed out early was I would like to see him maybe try to get more blocks. He was walling up. Guys were kind of scoring over him. But we haven't really seen that down the stretch. I think he's averaging almost 4 blocks in the last 4 games. Why do you think we're seeing a more aggressive Umar Ballo defensively in that respect?
Great perception there. Great observation, David. When you look at what Umar Ballo has been in his 3 years at Arizona, rim protector maybe, not a shot blocker, though. You're absolutely right. He's tough to score on, but not going to reject a lot of shots. And what I'm wondering is clearly the NCAA tournament much more physical. They let things go a little bit more. Did Umar feel a little more willing and able to go after shot blocks because he knows that you can make a little contact, and if it's a little, you're not going to get called for a foul. But I have absolutely seen Arizona's defense at the rim improve with Umar Ballo's willingness to now block shots. If he's up there averaging 3 to 4 blocks, like you said, over the last handful of games, that only makes Arizona better. And you listen to the press conference, I'll say something that I thought Keyshawn Johnson said just perfectly. It gives them an insurance policy as perimeter defenders to know not only do you have rim protection with Ballo, now you have a shot blocker at the rim. That allows the perimeter players to be a little more aggressive and know if they get beat, there's somebody back there that has their proverbial backs.
We're joined by Arizona basketball analyst Ryan Hansen with your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser celebrating 25 years of serving Arizona. Okay, Ryan, I guess we've been kind of complaining about this start time. It makes sense to no one. Does it make sense to you that this game is being played at 10:45 local time?
Yeah, the NCAA committee has so many rules, protocols, and processes in place for the NCAA tournament, such as 20 bench chairs. They only give out 30 towels. The towels have to be logoed properly. The Powerade distribution station behind each bench cannot be moved so that it is in the perfect position for camera angles. If you move it 1 foot, there is somebody assigned by the NCAA to move it back. But yet we're going to tip off before noon local time in the most important game for Dayton and Arizona in their school's year this year. It's I'll say it how I want. I'm going to be honest with you, Dave. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous that they would do this. And you have in Omaha, Oregon, and Creighton. Are they in Pittsburgh? They're in one of those two places.
Yeah.
They're tipping off at 9:40 Eastern. Arizona's tipping off almost 12 hours prior in a time zone that's in the western half of the country. The NCAA misses on so many things. You also heard Tommy Lloyd talk about the new basketball, the net. I mean, there were some oddities with that. But, David, this actually, to me, and I'm a little on my soapbox here, it takes it to another level. Because in my time, and David, you and I go way back. I don't go as far back as your manager days at USC. You're slightly older than me, not by a lot. But, David, this is my 71st NCAA tournament game in person with Arizona. I've been with the team for a long time. In my recollection, in season or postseason, this will be the earliest tip time except for November of 2000 when Arizona tipped off at 9 a.m. Hawaii time in the Maui Invitational against Chaminade. But guess what? You're playing a Division II school at the Maui Invitational in the Lahaina Civic Center. You're just thankful to be there. You don't worry about it, right? You tip off at 9, you move on. Arizona, I think, won by 30. No big deal. This is a big deal. I'm pretty adamant about it if you can't tell.
Yeah, Rhino, I mean, I was going to ask the question about NCAA bylaws relative to brand new nets and brand new balls. I mean, I understand naming rights and they have the contracts to play with certain balls at certain events, but I'm talking to DK earlier. I mean, anybody who's tried to handle a ball or shoot a ball, those brand new balls are so sticky on your palms. Why can't they just scuff them up a bit? Like, where is the bylaw that makes it so they have to have nets with 2 fast-breaking teams, and you got to wait 2 full seconds? I went and tracked it, Rhino. Caleb Love's dunk at Cal, it took 2.5 seconds from baseline to baseline for that play to happen. If you have nets where the ball actually goes through, how fast can you get with 2 fast-breaking teams? It just makes no sense to use those nets.
Well, and just as important, J-Dub, you look at the tempo that's going to be maybe one of the keys to the game with Dayton. Dayton doesn't want you to change the net. They're hoping that the net that Arizona has in the second half is the same one that I swear they bought from Play It Again Sports, because it is that bad as a used net or something. I don't know. No offense to Play It Again Sports by any means. But, yeah, some of those things that just don't make sense because the NCAA is so locked in, and this tournament is great for so many reasons. But Tommy Lloyd also talked about having a standardized basketball, and if anything, get the basketballs to the teams the week of the tournament. Get it to them. You can ship them out. They know who the teams are. Ship them out on Sunday night. Get them to the destination on Monday. Get 6 basketballs and let the teams practice with them all week. And then donate them to the local high schools where the site is. Salt Lake City high schools all around here would love to have new basketballs. So get as many basketballs as you need, break them in. J-Dub, for crying out loud, thank you for bringing that up too, because that was, we have to have something to complain about, even though Arizona won. Let's complain about the nets, the basketballs, and the tip time. If that's the worst things that happened this weekend, boys, we'll be in good shape.
That's the same thing I said to DK pre-show. I said, hey, these guys obviously went and bought an $8 net from the closest sporting goods store to save $4. Where is the savings on that where you can't get a net that actually functionally allows the ball to go through? Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's your view from courtside with Arizona basketball radio analyst Ryan Hansen. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years of serving Arizona. I thought Kylan said something interesting after the game in the locker room. He said that his teammates told him that he needs to shoot the ball more. And as a result of that, we got 19 shots from him yesterday. And Kelvin has always said, man, if you're a shooter, the only way you're going to get out of a slump is if you shoot the ball. And it seems like maybe in that respect, would you like maybe that to be a better shooting percentage? But seeing the ball go in when you shoot it 19 times probably is going to put him in a better mindset moving forward.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt his confidence and where that sits mentally is an important factor for Arizona. When he scores 10 or more this year, Kylan Boswell helps Arizona to a 19-1 record, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist for us to know when Kylan plays well, Arizona is a very difficult out, and that will continue to be true if Arizona were to advance. His mental state of being more assertive, more purposeful. I don't like the Kylan Boswell that's kind of lukewarm, where he's driving and should I shoot? Should I lob it? I'm going to take a runner off of 1 foot and let N'Faly Dante spike it into the 5th row in the Pac-12 tournament semifinals, right? That Kylan Boswell is not at his best. When he is assertive, we've seen it more than a half a dozen times. That guy can be a very good player. And when your backcourt puts up the numbers that they did, I believe it was 35 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists, and 1 turnover. That was Caleb Love and Kylan Boswell. I might be off by 1 point or something there, but my point is you need guard play. They got it. And you're absolutely right. The teammates appear to have been giving the confidence to Kylan that maybe the coaching staff was unable to really put on Kylan consistently. And there's nothing like having a teammate tell you, shoot away, go for it. That's your shot. You get built up by a teammate, means a lot to you, and we saw the productivity out of Kylan.
Ryan, what's your scout for this game against Dayton? They got a fine Arizona-bred player in Deuce Holmes, and a pretty good 3-point shooter in Kobe Brea.
When I looked at the draw, when the tournament brackets came out, the first thing that stuck out to me, which will be the 2 keys, pace of play. Dayton is typically going to play slower. They like playing slower. They use presses to try to slow you down. So can Arizona speed it up? The second piece is 3-point shooting. And if you look at what's hurt Arizona, Oregon State, Stanford, Purdue, lights out 3-point shooters, right? Those games, that's how the game was won. And what the scary part, pretty much no matter who you play, the things that get you during the year are probably going to be the things that get you in the tournament if you don't win the whole thing. You're not going to all of a sudden lose in a way that you haven't lost previously. And so those are 2 things. Has Arizona grown up enough in their defensive abilities to lock up the three-point line? Is there enough there? And can they play? Because let's get real, DK, you've seen it time and again. Faster teams have a very difficult time speeding slow teams up. It's much easier to slow the game down, and possessions become more valuable, so the game naturally slows down. So can Arizona win a game that's not at their liking from a tempo standpoint? Those are really the two things that concern me the most, in addition to an outstanding mobile big in Deron Holmes. And when you have a guy, Kobe Brea, holy cow, Tommy Lloyd said it. It's a coin flip if he makes it or misses it. That's scary.
Yeah.
Like literally flip a coin and he's going to make every other shot. The point there is, DK, is don't let him get looks. Don't let him get shots. Easier said than done. But if you don't let him shoot it, then his percentage becomes irrelevant.
Ryan,
You got it.
have a great call with Brian Jeffries.
Thanks, DK. You too, J-Dub. Have a good one, man.
And that's your view from courtside with Wildcats radio basketball analyst Ryan Hansen.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Striving to be the best never grows old, and that's especially true right now during O'Reilly Chevrolet's 100th anniversary celebration. Great customer service is what we've hung our cowboy hat on for more than a century. Even today, we have a new inventory arriving with factory incentives available, and there are great deals to be had. Check them out at O'Reilly.com, call 747-8000, or come to our party on the 23rd to Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Southern Arizona and O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Experiencing the Sonoran Desert's natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rock & Kay. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockandK.com. Designed by nature, built for you. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Trier on, missed the shot, no good. Rebound out to Love for the Wildcats. There's Caleb in a hurry, quickly down to Larson. Stop and pop a three in transition. He's got it. Pella Larson drains a three, another timeout for Long Beach State. And Dan Munson furious again.
Arizona knocks off Long Beach State. They will take on Nevada today, and that game will tip off at 9:30. We've got you till 8:30, and that's when the network with Ryan Hansen and Brian Jeffries will take over from Salt Lake City. Umar Ballo has had 19 double-doubles this season. He had a pretty nice play in the second half of the game against the Long Beach State Beach.
Boswell waits for a screen from Ballo, gets around it to the right. Throw out for Umar, who slams it home.
Why do you not want to go man-to-man against Arizona? Exhibit A, Ballo served at the top of the rim.
And when you've got 19 double-doubles, Tommy Lloyd's going to shout you out.
How about this guy? Big O has been kicking ass, and I'm super proud of him the way he's been playing.
He has been playing extremely well. And again, guys, I think when you look at, the double-doubles, and then you bring in the fact, as we were talking with Ryan Hansen, about the blocks now, because you've got a guy who can go up there and be a massive advantage for you on the boards, and now you've got a guy on the back end that's starting to really attack the basketball in the air, which, again, has shown the development of Umar's game across the course of this season.
Well, to me, the bigger thing about that is actually going for it, because you know what it does to a guard, a former guard myself. You know that you have to worry about him coming to get your shot, so it almost takes away getting all the way to the rim. It forces you into being a mid-range shooter. It forces you into, having to think about it when you go in there. So, but when he wasn't blocking shots, this guy's attacking because that threat isn't there. You need that threat of a block shotter more than anything.
Umar Ballo, on what we heard a few weeks ago, we'll go back. Tommy Lloyd talked about kind of what Umar meant to him in the program. Umar, on what Tommy Lloyd means to him.
He's important, he's a leader. More than that, he's like a dad, because he cares about every single player. It's not only as a basketball player, but as a person, and once you find people like that, you have to stay with those people.
And we had a chance to, because in the NCAA tournament, we sometimes get a chance to hear from some of the other coaches, because Tommy Lloyd has obligations after the game, so he doesn't always come out to the floor to chat with Brian Jeffries after the game. We got a chance to hear from assistant coach Ricky Foyce after the contest, and really kind of talked about Umar at the offensive end and how that affects Arizona's ability offensively to attack zone defenses.
Omar energy right down there, he created a lot of problems because they had to deal with him, and a lot of times this guy was the rotation guy, so he was cut off, and then we started to hit high post and the guards hunting shots, and they did a great job. We talk about that of just setting up each other for great shots and do your job even if it's not you scoring or you touching the ball, like Omar did. I think in the first 10 minutes of the second half he was absolutely dominant.
Yeah, DK, Umar Ballo is the reason why Arizona sees zones. That's it. I mean, you can't match up one-on-one, and you could double, you could, front him, you could do all those things. But the reason Arizona sees so many zones is teams would rather challenge them to make outside shots than just get punished at the rim. I mean, how many paint points does this team average? Beyond, if you're talking about a man-to-man situation, they're top 5 in the nation in points in the paint. So you're seeing so many zone defenses, Kelvin, because generally, outside of UCLA and Oregon, There aren't a ton of teams that Arizona's seen on the schedule that have a guy who can match up with him.
Balo, a first-team All-Pac-12 selection. We mentioned 19 double-doubles this season. He now has 33 in his career. Both of those totals, the 19 in a season and the 33 for a career, rank 4th in Arizona history. He had 11 and 13 against the Beach on Thursday. He's now 10th in school history with 812 career rebounds. All right, we got a chance to talk to the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, Tommy Lloyd, yesterday. Tommy, 87 and 19 in 3 seasons with the Wildcats leading this program. He is 2 wins shy of tying the NCAA record for wins by a first-time head coach in his first 3 seasons. It's DK with TL, sponsored by nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we really value. We really value having guards that can kind of share the workload. You know, we're not dependent on one point guard, to initiate offense for 40 minutes. Yeah, so, I mean, that's something we're comfortable with. But, other teams are comfortable having one guy that they really settle in with and trust him, with all the decisions. So, I mean, it's really valuable for Arizona to have, the guards we have. And we spend a lot of time trying to develop all those guys to have all-around skills, to be able to, initiate offense, to be able to, read the ball screen game, to be able to, figure out what coverages other teams are in and find advantages. So I'm really proud of those guys.
Tommy, Keshad had 10 points in that 15-0 run that kind of crossed over the halves. We saw his ability offensively to do a number of things. He had the shot underneath the basket, stepped out, made a 3, got the dunk on the alley-oop. When you were recruiting him, having not taken a lot of three-point shots at San Diego State, did you think he could be that kind of player for you that would be able to score at length like that in your system?
Well, it's something he and I talked about in recruiting, and then obviously we watched a little film on his shooting technique, and it looked fine. And, so we talked, and I told him maybe that's one thing that we would like to add is maybe a little more shooting from our 4 position. And he's done a great job. He gets all the credit. I mean, he's really worked hard at his shooting and gotten to the point where I'm really comfortable. Like every 3-point shot he lines up, I feel like is going in. And, I don't have the stats in front of me, know exactly what he's shooting, but I know it's made a really positive impact on our offense overall, is just his ability to step out and shoot threes, especially in those corners.
Tommy, are there common denominators happening in these games where we've seen you guys be able to make double-digit threes?
Well, I mean, you probably are starting the common denominators how we're being defended. I knew once I really took a deep dive into Long Beach State's analytics, the percentage of, 3-point attempts by their opponents was pretty high. I mean, based on shot attempts. So I had a feeling they were going to pack it in and, obviously zone us like they did. And yeah, sometimes to beat that, I mean, you got to play over the top. And, 35 threes is, probably not a number that I would dial up at the, as we start a game plan. But, that's kind of what the game called for. And most of them were really good shots. And for us to make, I think we were 13 for 35. And, probably at one point, before we took a couple late in the game, 13 for 32. And if you're shooting that percentage, I mean that's really going to allow you to play efficient basketball.
And in terms of Keshad Johnson, he's shooting 40% from 3 coming into today's game. 35 makes on the season. He had 28 in the 4 years that he spent at San Diego State. So again, and that kind of takes you into the recruiting process. They talked about it. They looked at tape. He hadn't taken a lot of shots, but they saw something in the film that he could be that guy that could add that to his game.
Yeah, no, and that's important. Coaches doing their research and understanding what a guy actually could bring to a game when you go back and look at the film. But I saw him this summer, and I saw the shot, and I knew before we even got into the season, I was like, this guy can knock down threes. And I think that's huge when you have a big guy like Ballo in there, because you have to respect that three-point shooting ability, and then it gives him more opportunities to gives Ballo more opportunities to play one-on-one inside in the post.
Yeah, it's just modern basketball, right? I mean, if you're a 3-and-D guy, I mean, if you're a guy who clearly can lock down 3 or 4 different positions at the defensive end, slashing, running the lanes to get out in fast breaks, but open shots. The reason you're looking at a 40-point percentage is not because Keyshawn Johnson is one of the best three-point shooters in the nation. It's because of his shot selection. And he's taking shots within the offense, Kelvin. Those open looks, that's the shot you have to take, especially that one he took when Arizona was kind of a little bit bogged down, I think, towards the end of the first half, that corner 3 that he took with the guy flying out at him, just perfect form, full confidence in his ability to knock that down. And it was after it got swung to 3 different perimeter players, and he was the third guy to catch it. You got to take that shot, and he's just shooting with such confidence right now.
And we talked about it on the postgame show on Thursday. J-Dub, you brought it up, the fact that the ball wasn't really going through the net very crisply on Thursday in Salt Lake City. After going back and watching the game again, I thought that there was several instances where the Wildcats, even though they only had 9 turnovers, they kind of were a little bit loosey-goosey with the basketball. They lost control. I mean, there were some bad passes, but there were also some instances where they were kind of just lost control of the basketball. Tommy Lloyd addressed both of those things in his press conference yesterday.
Listen, I don't think it's very hard to find nets where the ball goes through. Go up to the University of Utah, take the nets off the basket, because they're probably not stopping there, and bring them down here. It's not complicated. So, I mean, I hope they have the wherewithal to make that change. I mean, I don't know. If they stretch them and they can stretch them good enough and prove to themselves, that they're not going to stick, that's fine. The other problem is the ball. I mean, and we've been dealing with this forever. I mean, these are brand new basketballs, and I know they'll probably the shooting percentages don't change. There were more mishandles for both teams in our game yesterday because that basketball is brand new. It's just inflated a little different and just different than what the guys are comfortable with every day. And I think it begs the question in college basketball, how do we not have a standardized basketball? How can you play with an Adidas ball one game, a Nike ball the next game, the Rock in the next tournament, a Spalding in this tournament? If you're at a Hall of Fame Classic, you're playing with a Spalding. And then you're in the NCAA tournament, you're playing with a Wilson. I mean, come on. I mean, I think we can standardize the game a little bit. I think it's common sense. So, but hey, I know there's also a business, and I'm just a coach, so I'm going to get back in my lane.
Kelvin, you do not think that can happen? No standardizing the game.
No, it's not going to happen. That's a part of it. That's the way they make it interesting. That's the way they make it interesting for you. Trust me, I know exactly what he's talking about. And it's just, again, my thing is this right here. I can't even really believe that he's addressing it, honestly, as a coach, because that could, mess with your players a little bit. And my thing, I'll say it again, the other team has to use the same one. I mean, in some situations for a team like ours that like to get it out quick, it hurts us a little bit. But other teams may be just happy. Like, hey, let that thing slow down so they can't get out into that break faster. So, no, it's one of those things. Play better defense. I'll say this last thing. Play better defense so they'll miss the shot and we can get out and run.
Yeah, 100% agree. And new balls, Kelvin. So I don't give a damn about the brand, right? It doesn't matter what. Pick a brand. That's fine. But anybody, we've talked about this on the show yesterday, anybody who's shot or handled the ball ever in their lives, you go to a sporting goods store, you buy a brand new ball, Kelvin, you get out to the court, it sticks to your palm for the first couple of, maybe 2, 3, 5 hours. You get some dust on it, you get a little bit worn, and it handles a lot better. So I don't give a damn what brand they use for the basketballs, but not having brand new balls, and you're at the moment in the season where it's the most important games. It's the biggest moment of these kids' lives. They've been playing their whole lives, Kelvin, to get to a point where they could make a name for themselves in the NCAA tournament. And you got equipment issues like that in a $1 billion industry. That's my biggest thing. Yeah, both teams got to use the same balls, same nets, all that stuff. And why wouldn't you try to give these guys the best equipment possible in the biggest stage of their career to give us as fans the best entertainment possible? Instead of, hey, maybe that mishandle by Boswell or somebody on the Flyers team might be due to that ball being just pulled out of the box 10 minutes ago.
Now, I'll say this. Now, one thing that I remember going into the tournament was they used to send us the balls. we used to actually get the new balls that we were going
So
to play with.
So they actually did that.
Yeah, we had the balls that we practiced with. Now it's another brand new ball when you get ready to go to the place. But we get the brand new ball and we try to fill it out, and you get ready to play with it. And I'm sorry, I don't feel the same about that. The other team has to deal with it. Some you got to go through. Yes, it would be better if you had the ball of choice, which I will say it's probably going to be different for both teams what ball they actually want to use. So the NCAA comes in and use the ball they use. Now, we all know number one reason why they do that, right? Money.
Yeah.
They get paid to bring the new balls.
That's what Ryan said, you know?
Yeah.
It's like and he mentioned they only allowed 20 seats on the bench. My understanding is that they had to leave Dylan Anderson at home. He couldn't travel to this because they don't, and the managers, they have to sit, they sit in stands. They kind of that was the case. They only allow you certain people on the bench.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know like in terms of how the travel party of that bears out. But there were people that were tweeting that Dylan Anderson didn't even go on the trip, and that's rough. I mean, when you've been taking a kid, I mean, he's redshirting, but he's been with you the entire team, and now you got to tell him or the entire season, and now you got to tell him he can't go on a trip. Because the NCAA has all these rules and regulations.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Well, and if you're watching on one of our video streams, we are streaming this show on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch at Wildcats Radio 1290. We are on Twitter at Wildcats 1290. I want to put up this video that Arizona put on their Twitter, their social media accounts yesterday. All right, so this is assistant coach Shemek Karnowski, who yesterday before practice was pulling the nets apart and then testing them out to make sure the ball would go down. See, Shimmick's still got some game. Long time Gonzaga.
That's ridiculous. He just.
I mean, that is like, he's just like, okay, let's just pull the nets apart. Make sure we got it. Make sure the ball's going through. We don't want anybody disrupting our break.
And then if I'm the other coach from the other team, I'm making them change the nets right before. As soon as I see him do that, I'm like, change the nets. Did y'all see what he was doing? I'm playing the psychological game too. I want them nets changed back. Did you see what he was doing? I can't believe that it was even a problem with it after that. He's like, he worked that thing pretty good.
Oh, man, that's good stuff there. All right, it is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. Arizona and Dayton on the men's side, second round of 32, the NCAA tournament. Arizona and Syracuse on the women's side, round of 64. In the NCAA women's tournament. Along with J.W. Madden and Kelvin Ifan, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Blue Whale Car Wash, Caruso's Italian Restaurant, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, The Diamond Store, Goldberg and Osborne, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Nova Home Loans, Recon Auto Detail, Ride Now Power Sports Tucson Police Department.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 30 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona, with offices statewide, including 5 in Tucson and Southern Arizona. The Eagle gives you home court advantage. More than 1,800 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne makes the right play in any situation. So, after any accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm get you the settlement you deserve. It's a slam dunk. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE EAGLE.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, best price, biggest inventory.
It's a party 100 years in the making, and all of Tucson is invited. Saturday, March 23rd, starting at 11 a.m., we'll kick off our 100-year anniversary party at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Along with a Chevy Classic Car Show, there'll be food trucks, balloon twisters, a caricature artist, and much more. Our cake cutting ceremony will start at 5 p.m., and our prize cutting, well, that's been going on for more than a century. So put it in your cell phone for the 23rd and see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or go to O'Reilly.com for more details. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and number one goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
I'm a big believer in investing into what the wealthiest people in the world invest into. But it's not easy to know exactly what that is, and it hasn't always been possible for regular folks like you and I. But that's changing. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and if you've done a good job acquiring some assets, now is the time to consider private equity. Private equity is ownership of private companies that aren't traded on the stock market and in most cases are very exclusive. Examples could include ownership of apartments or nursing homes, dental practices, solar farms, you name it. Why do so many billionaires invest into private equity? Because of historically low correlation to the stock market and historically higher returns. If you have a goal with your portfolio but aren't there yet, call Trajan Wealth today. Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. May require accreditation.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Jones fires a three, no good. Rebound, tip, grabbed by Love. Wildcats with a 3-on-1 now. Love will lob it for Johnson, and Keyshawn will throw it down for two. Timeout, Long Beach State.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Keyshawn Johnson showing the range of his game. Coming up in this last hour, we've got best bets. 9.5 is the line today. 150 is the over/under. That's kind of low. So we'll see how that comes out. We've got David Jablonski who's going to join us. He is the beat reporter from the Dayton Daily News. Keys to the game, starting lineup, all of that is still straight ahead. We've also got Pest of the game. Why don't we do that now? Can we do that? Yeah, scoreboard. We're way behind. Let's get Pest of the game in here now. Why don't we? And see who that flyer is going to be that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today.
Who is today's Pest of the Game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at BePestFree.com.
All right. J-Dub, who's your pest today?
There's a lot. I mean, Kobe Bryant is the easy pick, but I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Enoch Cheeks because he leads them in steals. They only play 6 players, but he is a guy who isn't necessarily known for his scoring ability, but in a game like this, it's going to be potentially a low-scoring game, like you just said. They expect the Flyers to potentially slow it down enough to be 150 as a total. So a guy like that, the other guys we already know defensive attention isn't going to go Brea and Holmes. So, yeah, I'll go with Enoch Cheeks as my pest of the game today.
Well,
for the
that was
Flyers.
good. That was going to be mine too. Enoch Cheeks, who we still didn't find out if he's any relation to Mo Cheeks, but he's got a great basketball name to start with. That Enoch Cheeks, and like you, exactly why you said as well. He's that guy defensively who could change this game for them, and one of the big, I think, reasons that they were able to come back in that game against Nevada the other night. He is a 6'3" junior out of Providence, Rhode Island. Had 14 points and 9 rebounds. Actually in a game earlier this season, he averages 8 and 5, and
5 boards, Kelvin, for 6'3" guard.
That's pretty good.
That's getting it
another
done.
reason why you might look to him, because he can affect the game in a number of different ways. So I'll go with Enoch Cheeks as well.
I usually don't do this, but my pest of the game is going to be their best player.
Okay. Deron
because,
Holmes.
Yeah, because there's a huge separation. He's coached against his dad up in Phoenix, Holmes up there, and huge separation in free throws, over 100 more free throws attempted than the next guy.
Almost
200.
Almost 200 more free throws.
Look at that. And then you look at it, 83 assists, basically third on the team in assists, and 67 blocks, over 40 more than the next person. To me, he's the key to the game, and he's the problem. He's the pest. You have to stop him, and you have to do it one-on-one, because if you double him, he will kill you, spraying the ball back out to those shooters.
They call it triple Duran versus triple double. Triple Duran. He had 5 triple doubles this year.
Whoa,
that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And I mistakenly said earlier in the show he went to Mesquite. He actually went to Millennium up in Gilbert. All right, those are your pest of the game, Deron Holmes, and 2 choices for Enoch Cheeks.
That's today's Pest of the Game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Visit BePestFree.com.
You heard that play by Keyshawn Johnson at the top. He was so huge in that 15-0 run for Arizona. He scored 10 points and really came out and scored quickly 7 in a row in the second half of the game to allow the Wildcats to lengthen their lead against Long Beach.
Basketball is never scripted. Like, everything don't always go your way, but we stuck to the game plan, kept feeding Big Omar, and kept getting in between the zone, and everything was paying off. We knew Oregon came back from us being up in the first half, so we just had to change the narrative of how we come out in our first 4 minutes. Our first 4 minutes was able to score. I think probably went on a 6-0 run or something like that. And then that just changed the rest of the narrative of the game. So you just had to keep it up.
One of the things that Tommy Lloyd really likes about Keyshawn Johnson is he's a player, obviously an older player who knows how to grasp the moment.
There's no moment too big for him, because for him they're all equal. They're just moments, and so I've been really impressed with that. And I didn't realize he scored our first 7 points, but I'm not surprised he did. I know he had a layup on the baseline. I thought he got fouled on.
And you guys have mentioned this is going to be a game where Dayton is probably going to try to slow the pace down against Arizona. Play a game in the 60s is probably what they want to do here this morning. And that is something that Tommy Lloyd and his coaching staff are going to have to figure out a way to contend with.
You also need to be aware when you're playing some of these teams that you're not always going to get it your way. So you can't panic if you don't get it your way. I mean, we're built to play lots of different styles. And generally, if you want to be a team that's playing in transition, you better be a good defensive team so you're not taking the ball out of the net, especially these nets, because the ball doesn't come out of them. It just stays in there. Like, you talk about stopping a fast break. I mean, geesh. So hopefully they have that fixed by tomorrow. So you have to rebound the ball well. You put those 2 things together. Good defense and rebounding usually gives you an opportunity to play in transition offense.
Well, I mean, again, and that goes, we'll get to the keys to the game, but the Wildcats are going to, that's going to be the challenge today. I think that's going to be the big challenge is, can the Wildcats get points in transition against this Dayton defense?
It's going to be tough because this defense is made about getting back. they get 3 to 4 guys back. They're not going to allow you to run and get easy buckets. And then on offense, they set that up with the great balance of making sure that they run their sets. They run plays every time down to try to get ball movement. A lot of it, which I call fake ball movement, because I just think it's just to move the ball, just to run the clock a little bit before they actually get into their action, because they want to slow you down and force you to play defense from side to side.
This was a team that won against LSU earlier this season. They lost by 14 to number 1 Houston. They won at SMU. I don't know how good SMU is at basketball this year, but they won on the road there. So, they've been in some tough ball games. They know what that's about. We talked a little bit about Deuce Holmes out of Gilbert and went to was it Compass Prep? Compass Prep up in the Phoenix area. He was actually being recruited by the Wildcats when Sean Miller was the head coach.
It was one of my Final Four. I was there following them when Sean Miller was the coach a little while back, so I went to the McHale Center a couple times. I've been on campus. I'm familiar with, the team and everything. So, I was a big fan when I was in high school as well. I know a lot about Arizona, so it's going to be exciting.
And we mentioned this is a team that can shoot the threes. 300 threes on the season. That's close to 9 made threes per game for Dayton. Anthony Grant is their head coach. He is a graduate of the University of Dayton. He played on one of their best teams back in the 1980s. He talks about his three-point field goal philosophy.
Well, we've got good players, and we try to have our guys play to their strengths, and try to help their teammates play to their strengths. That's a part of the identity we try to establish. And so, our guys have done a good job of being able to share the basketball and being able to understand how to play to that identity, whether it's a three-point shot, a rim shot, or getting to the free throw line. But we just try to be efficient, and so our guys have done a pretty good job of being efficient.
Hi, Coach. Bruce Pasco with the Arizona Daily Star. I was just curious about Deron Holmes, the story you gotten him or coming from Arizona, and how you guys, he was saying that he really liked the culture there, and, it seemed like it's gone pretty well for him. What's your take on him?
Well, he's been in our program for 3 years. I think Deron comes from a great family. I think Deron was able to see the team we had back in 1920, see how we played. And I think he felt like his skill set, his talent would fit well in the system. And then once we got a chance to get to know each other, I think he felt very comfortable with our staff, with the things that we kind of shared with him about what we were about and how we could help him. And I think he's been true to his process all the way through. He's a very hard-working young man. He's a high-character young man, and he's been able to just continue to develop mentally, physically, spiritually, all the way through, and it's a credit to him and his family.
Deuce Holmes was actually the Gatorade Player of the Year here in the state of Arizona when he came out as a senior from Compass Prep. You heard Anthony Grant talking about his three-point shooting philosophy. He's got a pretty good one in Kobe Brea and Mr. Coin Flip. What about Mr. Coin Flip, Anthony?
Since I've known him, he's always been a guy that his shot has been, one of the purest that I've seen. He's got a gift, and I think obviously over the course of his time, he's grown in a variety of different ways. You're talking about a young man that's had to overcome a lot of adversity in terms of injuries and different things, different challenges that he's had. So I'm just really proud of the growth that he's had, not only as a player and kind of figuring out how to be great at what he's good at, right, and mastering his skill set, but just overcoming, just the adversity that he's had to go through on a personal level from the injuries and setbacks and different things like that.
Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, we had a push on the line. We can't do that today because it's an uneven line. 9.5
for Arizona today against Dayton. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take Arizona in the 9.5 today. I like that number right there.
I actually agree with you on that. I definitely have Arizona, taking Arizona on that.
I'll say Cats by 7.
Cats by 7. Okay, so J-Dub is going to not lay the 9.5 today. And the over-under is, again, 150. But, again, they want this game to be low scoring. They played, 123 the other night? What was the final? 129. 129 against Nevada. Can the Wildcats get that high? J-Dub, what do you think?
I think the Arizona defense today is going to come to play, and that's going to keep it under. And lower possessions, obviously, they're going to run some full court pressure stuff to try to slow the game down. So I don't think either team's I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out type of game. So, yeah, I'll say under.
How about you, Kelvin?
Under for sure. Under for sure. With as J-Dub said, as the defense that Arizona plays and the style, the slowdown, the style that they want to control and run the ball, run the clock like one of those running football teams. That's what they're going to try to do.
All right. Well, I mean, that under has been the play in the postseason for sure. So I'm going to go under as well. And we'll see who comes out on top on the postgame show.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sport. Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet. This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, First Choice Pools, The Good Feet Store, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Ram Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Right Way Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community Design by Nature, University Termite and Pest Control.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. Live RockinK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Fun for the crew, fun for the family, fun for everyone. Dave & Buster's is the place to be for all things fun. With hundreds of awesome games, massive screens showing every single game, and their incredible menu of top-notch food and drinks. There's no better place to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's. Make Wednesday the highlight of your week at Dave & Buster's by experiencing half-price games on Wednesdays. That's right, every arcade game, half price. Dave & Buster's at Tucson Marketplace, your Wednesday game day viewing spot.
Most financial advisors I know have had a moment in their career where they thought, with more control, I would do things differently for my client's sake. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and our firm was created by advisors with the understanding that we need flexibility, control, and decision-making power to create the best experience for our clients. If you're an advisor interested in learning more about our growing firm, call me at 719-1433 to talk more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Do you
often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. When I need a winning strategy for my team, nothing beats knowledge and skill. That's why I recommend Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing for all your home service needs. Having personally witnessed the impact of hard work and dedication, Right Way brings the same commitment to your home's comfort. Whether it's HVAC, plumbing, or electrical, their team always delivers excellence. With a legacy of quality service since 1959, you know you're in good hands. So give your home the best. Choose Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Call or text 520-640-CATS or visit rightwayac.com.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the university area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 import and domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the university area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Brea, that's what they need. They need a lot more of that action. His third three. They've seen their 17-point lead dwindle to 6, maybe to 3 if that goes, and it does.
Our 1290 scouting report is brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double.
It is Dayton and Arizona in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Your scouting report today. Joining us, David Jablonski with the Dayton Daily News. The Flyers coming in at 25-7. And first of all, David, how long have you been covering this team?
This is my 11th season, the 2013-14 season when they made the Elite Eight, beat Ohio State, Syracuse, Stanford. That was my first season.
So then I can say to you that about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, this would have really been a fun game because we'd have had the Miller brothers coaching against each other.
That's right, yeah. My first 4 seasons on the beat, Archie was the head coach. They made the NCAA tournament every time, and it was a good ride. So, yeah, that would have been a cool matchup.
How did the Flyers make that comeback happen on Thursday in Salt Lake City?
We've seen them do that before, but not on that stage, and I wouldn't have predicted it to happen yesterday when they were down 56-39, under 8 minutes to play. But their first big win of the season against LSU, they were down 15 in the second half, came back in that one. Their last win, just right before the last regular season game of the year, 17 down against VCU, but that was in the first half, and there wasn't much time left in this game. So, it was a chipping away sort of situation that started with a single free throw, but then it was just a lot of three-pointers. I mean, Kobe Brea has been the best shooter in the nation all season long, and he made 3 straight during that run. And, it was a slow build and then a fast comeback. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of guys that shoot 50% from 3, but Kobe Brea is one of them. What's kind of special about him as a shooter for this ball club?
Yeah, it's funny. Tommy Lloyd just called him a coin toss guy because toss a coin up at 50-50, he's going to make it. His story is amazing because last spring he had surgeries on both legs to put rods in his tibias because of stress fracture issues he had last year. And he was being wheeled around in a wheelchair last summer on campus. He didn't get back full go until right before the season started, right before preseason practices started. And it's been amazing to watch. He's been real consistent. Seems like he makes 5 out of 8 every other game. And he doesn't – sometimes the fans want him to shoot a lot more than he does, but he doesn't force the issue. I think in the second half yesterday, one of his teammates told him, hey, even if you're guarded, even if it's contested, we need you shooting the ball. So that was a key moment.
Now, he's been a guy that's primarily come off the bench this season for this team. Why maybe has that been the right role for him?
Yeah, he was the 6th man of the year in the A-10 2 years ago, and it just seemed to make sense. He did start yesterday, think maybe they're just trying to get off to a better start. But he was, again, the sixth man of the year in the A-10 this season. Fans have been kind of clamoring for him to start, but it doesn't really matter because he's playing starter minutes. I mean, he played more minutes than anybody yesterday.
Yeah.
37 plus. So, yeah, it just, because it was working, so it's like, why broke? It's not broke, why? You don't need to fix it. It was a good situation for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, averaging 29 minutes on the season. David Jablonski is joining us. He is the beat writer for the Dayton Flyers from the Dayton Daily News. It is your Ram Plumbing Scouting Report. Ram Plumbing, if your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double. A youngster from out our way up at Gilbert Mesquite High School, the leading scorer for this ball club, Deron Holmes II. How did Coach Grant find this young man out here in the desert? Why was he a kid that he wanted on his roster?
He's the highest ranked recruit to pick UD ever, basically, at least in the age of the internet, all the different sites that rate recruits. And, they made him a priority. He committed without ever coming to UD because it was during COVID. He never came to a game, never came to campus. I think Arizona was in his Final Four, Marquette, and one other team, maybe California, I can't remember. But, yeah, he just decided to, on the heels of Obi Toppin, all his success at Dayton. I remember back when he were committed, he wasn't necessarily committing because of Obi. He was going to be his own guy. But, you saw what the Dayton coaches did with Obi, and I'm sure he thought he could do the same. And they really have him. He's most hype recruit ever, and he's surpassed that hype. It's been pretty impressive. And it's crazy that they had to share the A-10 Co-Player of the Year, being a consensus All-American, only the fifth in UD history. But, that's a small complaint from the fans who've been able to witness this guy's rise to such a dominant player.
Break down his game for us and what we'll see today.
Well, I mean, he was shooting three-pointer more often early in the season, not as much lately. He can shoot it, but he's kind of been focusing on, staying inside. He's great at getting to the free throw line. That's probably his biggest strength. I mean, he's ranked among the best players in the country at that, and he's really shooting the free throws well now. He's had his struggles here and there, but you look at his numbers overall, he's much improved there, and I think he made 8 of 9 yesterday. That's really good, especially in a pressure-packed game like that. So, yeah, getting to the line and not fouling himself. It's rare for him to be in foul trouble. So those are some of his strengths.
David Jablonski is joining us. He is the beat writer for the Dayton Flyers from the Dayton Daily News. It is your scouting report brought to you by Ram Plumbing. If your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double. There's another Kobe in this starting lineup. You got Kobe Brea, who we talked about, and then there's Kobe Elvis. Man, that's probably the all-name team. First name after one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Last name of one of the greatest musicians of all time. What does Kobe Elvis do on the basketball court to live up to all of those great names?
Yeah, he had a big game in their last regular season game against VCU at 2 straight threes in overtime to tie the game and one to put him ahead. And so he's had a few moments like that, as most of the players on the team have had. He's a little bit more inconsistent scoring-wise, but he has that potential to have big games. I think he had 28 against Cincinnati in December. That was one of their big non-conference wins. Yeah, definitely a cool name. He's from Canada. Started his career at DePaul during COVID and has played the last 3 years at Dayton. He did just go through senior day, but he does one more season of eligibility, and I don't think he's decided on what he's going to do next year.
Enoch Cheeks, no relation to Mo Cheeks, is he?
No.
Can he play like Mo Cheeks?
He's got a good name, too.
Can he play like Mo Cheeks?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% familiar with Mo Cheeks' game anymore. Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's wild. So what do we get from Enoch Cheeks? One of your other starters?
A slasher, can get to the basket. Didn't have the best day finishing shots yesterday, but has had a bunch of big games, especially in the second half of the year. But he's kind of up and down as far as scoring. Good on defense. Has been playing a little point guard too, because their starting point guard Javon Bennett got hurt late in the season, hurt his thumb, and missed 2 games, but has been back for the last 2 and played yesterday. Though he came off the bench and Cheek started at point guard. So That's a little bit of a different role, and he's done a pretty good job with it. They're pretty good at limiting turnovers. They've had a couple games here and there with too many, but man, they've also had a couple games where they've only had 2 turnovers. So that's another strength of the team, I would say.
David, what have kind of been the staples of Anthony Grant's programs as he has built this, continued the success, obviously, that coaches before him have since he came here to take over his alma mater?
Yeah, just big highs and big lows, too. I mean, the 29-2 season of 2020, one of the great seasons in school history, you know, of course, followed right by the cancellation of the postseason. And, you know, this season, now that you got a tournament win, it's going to rank among, you know, Dayton's most memorable seasons because, you know, they hadn't won a tournament game in 9 years. But in between that, a lot of disappointment. I mean, 2 years ago, they were the first team left out of the tournament, although no Dayton fans even expected them to be that close to the bubble after they lost in the conference tournament. And then, you know, last year, team that started the season in the top 25 and just had injury issues all the way through. Got to the A-10 championship game, had a double-digit lead in the final, had to win that game to the tournament, and then just fell apart in the last 10 minutes. So then, yeah, Dayton fans are a little torn on Anthony, but, you know, now you give him credit for the 2020 tournament. You got two tournament appearances in 7 seasons, and, you know, it just becomes a question of whether they can do that consistently.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be going to be key. What do you think in terms of keys? What do you think are the key elements for Dayton getting a win against Arizona? Yeah,
they got to shoot the 3 ball well again. They were over 40% yesterday, and that's typically where they've been. They're ranked, you know, nation's best 3-point shoot. I forget where they are right now, but I think they were 4th or 5th recently. You know, right around over 40%. It's one of the best 3-point shooting teams in school history. I think they might set the team record or school record for accuracy this year. I thought they were better on defense yesterday than they've been in a while. It's been kind of a weak spot, just getting stops at the end of the games and key moments. Yeah, but they haven't played a team like Arizona in quite a while. They played Houston in the Charleston Classic in November, and that was the only game that they decisively lost. Every other loss, they've been right there and could have won any of them. So, yeah, we'll see if they can rise to the challenge. It'll be fun watching basketball at 10:45 in the morning tomorrow here.
Yeah, 9:45 here. In fact, we started this show at 5:30 this morning. So, yeah, that's where we are right now, running on adrenaline. And you guys, obviously, big day, big first round for the Atlantic 10 with not only Dayton getting through, but Duquesne, who Dayton beat twice and lost in the tournament championship game. Both those teams getting through, so some nice cachet for the Atlantic 10 in the first round.
Pretty good for the nation's 8th best conference. So they haven't put a Sweet 16 team in had a Sweet 16 team since Dayton in 2014. So it's been a long time. I look back at all the recent second round games they've lost. The last 6 second-round games where they've had an opportunity to send a team to the Sweet 16. But Duquesne is a great story. I mean, they just who knew Dayton was running into a buzzsaw in the conference tournament. But I think they're feeling a little better at that loss now that Duquesne won a game in the tournament. So yeah, it's been fun to see some of the A-10 teams have success.
There you go. Well, hey, David, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us and letting us our audience know a little bit about this Dayton Flyers ball club.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
David Jablonski, he is the beat writer for the Dayton Daily News, covering the Dayton Flyers, and that is your scouting report.
That's today's 1290 Scouting Report, brought to you by Ram Plumbing. When your plumbing is in trouble, call Ram on the double. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio, with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really mattered, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
Striving to be the best never grows old, and that's especially true right now during O'Reilly Chevrolet's 100th anniversary celebration. Great customer service is what we've hung our cowboy hat on for more than a century. Even today, we have a new inventory arriving with factory incentives available, and there are great deals to be had. Check them out at O'Reilly.com, call 747-8000, or come to our party on the 23rd to Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Southern Arizona and O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
I'm a big believer in investing into what the wealthiest people in the world invest into. But it's not easy to know exactly what that is, and it hasn't always been possible for regular folks like you and I. But that's changing. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and if you've done a good job acquiring some assets, now is the time to consider private equity. Private equity is ownership of private companies that aren't traded on the stock market and in most cases are very exclusive. Examples could include ownership of apartments or nursing homes, dental practices, solar farms, you name it. Why do so many billionaires invest into private equity? Because of historically low correlation to the stock market and historically higher returns. If you have a goal with your portfolio but aren't there yet, call Trajan Wealth today. Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. May require accreditation.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown and Tipoff Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sahonis into the lane, turns there, no shot, his pass tipped, loose, grabbed by Love for the Wildcats. Turnover Long Beach State. Love, quick feed to Boswell. Boswell will drive the lane. Reverse lane is good. Nice move by Kylan. He's got 8 points here in the first half.
Let's take a look at what is going on around college basketball today.
The Pac-12 scoreboard is brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery.
How about those Colorado Buffaloes yesterday, Kelvin Efon, getting a win. They almost let that game slip away, but they scored over 100 points.
That was great.
To
No
beat
defense.
Florida.
No defense in that game. It was
5-0 are the Pac-12 teams so far because Colorado's played twice.
KJ hit
Yep,
every
KJ
single
Simpson.
part of that rim, Kelvin. You see that, that game-winning shot?
Well, how great. Now, my question is this on that play. Did Thad draw that up? Because if he draw that up, he's a genius. Because did you see what he did? He ran to the ball, and then he cut to the baseline to the open spot.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that was just a player making a play and the out-of-bounds guy, because the out-of-bounds guy got the ball right to him, so it seemed like that was the play. But to get him that ball in that spot right there where he can get to his mid-range where no help could get to him, and to trust that pull-up jumper was just amazing. That's a coach knowing his player. That's trust.
Trust indeed. Again, really only one real upset on the board yesterday, but we were mentioning it earlier. We had a caller that was talking about the blowout wins for Houston. Houston won by 40. UConn won by 39 in their game. Purdue won by 28. So all the three of the four number one seeds that played yesterday won relatively easy. Marquette advanced. Baylor advanced. The big upset was Auburn falling to Yale 78-76. Duke was a winner. Alabama was a winner by 13. San Diego State won by 4. The other upset was Wisconsin falling to number 12 seed James Madison 72-61. Grand Canyon, maybe if you want to call this an upset. I mean, these are two mid-major teams, but St. Mary's came in as a number 5 seed. I think I had Grand Canyon on my card, beating St. Mary's 75-66, first ever win in the NCAA tournament for the Antelopes. I don't know if you saw the video they sent out of the havoc on the airplane going to wherever that game was. I'm not sure, but that fan base, that student section, one of the most popular ones in college basketball right now. Clemson beat New Mexico. That was a fashionable upset for a lot of folks, but it did not happen. We mentioned Colorado, 9-8 game. Northwestern wins in overtime, knocking out Florida Atlantic, who went to the Final Four last year. Texas over Nebraska. Nebraska remains winless all time in the NCAA tournament as they lost by 15. And Utah knocks out TCU. So the Big 12 has not necessarily had a great tournament.
How's the SEC doing?
Well, I mean,
3
Texas
and 6.
A&M
That's how they're doing.
Texas A&M. That was one of their few wins for sure.
You know, those teams in those conferences, a lot of times people don't realize they beat up on each other so much till they get down to this part of the season and they're worn down.
Today, obviously, the first game of the day is us, Dayton at Arizona. The next game of the day will also be in Salt Lake City, Gonzaga against Kansas. You've got Michigan State against North Carolina. Washington State is at Iowa against Iowa State today in Omaha. A low seed battle, number 14 Oakland against 11th seed North Carolina State. So there is going to be a double-digit seed coming out of the South region in the Sweet 16. Texas, the 7 against 2 Tennessee. 11 Duquesne against 3 Illinois, and 11 Oregon against 3 Creighton. That'll be an interesting one to watch. Oregon and Creighton today that game is in Pittsburgh. So that is a check of your scoreboard.
That's been the Pac-12 Scoreboard, brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery.
We did look into some places. Union Public House is going to open their doors at 9:30 if you want to go watch the game there. So they'll be open at 9:30. All the Trident locations, I believe they're down to 3 now because 3 closed, which was our former Browns bar. They're all going to be open at 9, so 45 minutes for all the Trident locations will be opening up. We mentioned cold beer and cheeseburgers. They're going to be open for the game today. So there are at least 3 popular sports bars here in Tucson that will be opening their doors this morning. If you want to let us know if you've got a place and you're going to be open, we'd love to hear from you so we know where to point Arizona Wildcats fans for this early start today at 9:45.
And we got a shout out on Twitter from the Pima women's basketball coach.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say,
Holdhouse.
Todd. I want to say good luck to them today. They have a 10 a.m. game, 7th place game versus Harcum Community College. Good luck to him. And I got a couple young ladies that play for my Desert Storm ladies teams. Good luck to those ladies as well.
Yep, they are in Michigan. And, again, like Kelvin said, 7th place game. They have come back and won their last 2 games. So they're 3-1. They can make it 4-1 if they get a win today, and that'll be a pretty impressive showing for the Aztecs.
And the men lost yesterday.
Yes.
The last game, Dylan Baker had 17 points. Peabody led them to a great season, one of the best seasons in Pima Community College history, 29-6. So, congratulations there. And Can't see what he does next year.
Yeah, some good stuff going on up on West Anklam Road for your Pima Aztecs. Our guy Fred Scheibe checks in on Twitter about today's game, says, I'm just happy it's not Nevada. Salt Lake City, he's going on the altitude side of this. Salt Lake City, 4,265 feet. Nevada plays at 6,700 feet. Dayton plays at 778 feet. So playing at altitude is something very different for them. Glad Dayton had an exhausting game. Tough comeback at altitude, says Fred Scheibe. They were asked about that all week long, how they were going to deal with that, because obviously that's something that they don't normally do. All right, let's find out what the Wildcats need to do to win today.
Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
Kelvin, get us started on keys to the game for Arizona.
I think guard play will be key in this game. They do a lot of changing defenses with their pressures and their zone in their zones. I think the guard play, being smart, working through that is going to be important. I also feel like that we have to play DeRon Holmes one-on-one in the post. I feel like when you double him, he sprays that ball out to guys, knocking down threes, and it make them a better team than what they actually are. I think if you play these guys head up, one-on-one, it'll make it a lot more difficult for those guys to be able to score. And again, lock in on the shooters on the perimeter. I don't think you can come off and help like some of the defense we were doing early in the year, where we were over-helping because we didn't know what guys needed help. We were just trying to overdo our job. I think you have to be really smart and stay connected to these three-point shooters and don't allow those guys to get hot from out there, because to me, that's the only way they can win this game. No disrespect to Holmes. Love him. He's an Arizona kid, but he's going to have a lot on his hands dealing with Barlow. I throw one more key. Get the ball to Barlow and force and get him in foul trouble. Get DeRon Holmes in foul trouble. Make him have to play against the big body, the weight of Barlow, wear his legs down so he cannot be effective late in the game.
So is Barlow the guy that has to guard Deuce one-on-one?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Barlow will be in there on the post. I don't think he can bag Barlow down. I just don't. I've watched him play. And I don't think he has the strength to bag Barlow down. I think he may go into maybe looking for that three-point shot. They use him on pick and rolls to really try to get Barlow switched off of him. So we're going to have to do a great job of Barlow getting back to him in the post. But with that being said, I think Keyshot and some of our other guards actually are strong enough to push him and keep him from getting great post position. But yeah, it's going to be some work for our big guy.
Well, this is a team that shoots makes 9 threes a game. I think you can live with Brea getting his. My worry is the other guys getting involved. And so, you're going to want to definitely defend the three-point line and defend Brea, but I think you definitely have to be more mindful of some of those other guys. Don't let them get into the 3-4 made three categories to go along with the 5 or 6 that Brea's going to make, because if you get them now up into that 13-14 category, you might lose this game today. So be more mindful of the other three-point shooters is probably my number one key to this game. And then just like what you said there in terms of Oumar Ballo, I'd like to see Oumar Ballo with closer to 10 shots in this contest. You're going to live with them fouling him. That's what they're going to do. You'll get to the line, get to the bonus, because, again, when this team shoots a lot of free throws, they're going to win basketball games, is Arizona. And the stat that everybody was talking about all week long, this team is 19-1 when Kylan Boswell scores in double digits. And so let's have a little bit of that tonight. Kylan Boswell with a nice 15-point performance is going to get you to where you need to go, and that's the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my keys are very similar to you guys. Number one, they only got 6 players, literally 6 players. 28, 29, 31, 31, and 32 minutes per game is what their 6-man rotation runs. So even though they're trying to slow it down, they're going to have some full court pressure. They got to slow Arizona down. You got to run on these guys. You got to run at every opportunity. You got to put rim pressure on. You got to get those easy buckets, because that's not a great half-court defense. In fact, it's the 4th worst at-large defense, half-court defense in the nation of all the at-large teams in the tournament. However, they don't foul. Holmes has played 101 games, guys. He's fouled out one time. This is the third best team in the country at fouls per possession. So you got to make sure you put rim pressure on. They haven't seen anything like they're going to see today offensively. Houston's got none of that. LSU's got none of that. This is the best offensive team that Dayton's play. Show it to them. Number 2, obviously, stay with the shooters. 40% from the field as a team from deep, guys. That's number 3 nationally. And finally, you got to work the offense. You got to get open looks. That half-court defense, like I said, not a great half-court defense, but they do play smart defense. They don't commit fouls. Just make sure with that slippery, sticky new ball, the dumb nets and all that stuff, just make sure that you're cognizant of what's going on. Take care of the ball. And like DK said, don't throw it all over the place. Less than 10 turnovers today. And those are my keys to a win over the Flyers.
And those are our keys to a victory today for Arizona.
Wildcats fans, that's our keys to the game. Brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
Arizona and Nevada tip-off coming up at 9:45. We're getting set to hand it over to Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen. But first, let's give you the starting lineups for today's game.
The foundation of a great college basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature.
Colin Boswell at one guard, 6'2", sophomore out of Champaign, Illinois, leads the team in steals with 47, leads the team in assists with 127. Caleb Love, 6'4", senior out of St. Louis, Missouri, had 18 points and a career high 11 rebounds against Long Beach State. Pelle Larsson, 6'5", senior out of Nacka, Sweden. He is 8 for 14 from 3 in the last 3 games, so shooting 57%. And if you thought that was good, Keyshawn Johnson is 8 for 13 over the last 4 games. That's 62% from behind the three-point arc. Keyshawn at forward, 6'7", senior, 5th year out of Oakland, California. And the man in the middle, Umar Ballo, 7-foot, redshirt senior out of Kulakoro, Mali, double-doubles in 13 of his last 14 games. Final thoughts quickly, gentlemen.
It's an exciting game. Got to play some tough defense, man. These guys don't turn over the ball. Only 10 turnovers a game. So really love to see these guys turn these guys over a little bit more and make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, just play with purpose. Play engaged. Do not be sloppy with the ball. Don't make the moment too big. Players on a basketball. Get that thing done.
Absolutely. Arizona all-time in the NCAA tournament. This is their 38th all-time appearance. They have won 62% of their games. If they win today, this will be their 60th victory in the NCAA tournament, and it would punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 next weekend in Los Angeles, California. That is going to wrap up our coverage. Thanks to all of the folks that joined us today. Ryan Hansen, David Jablonski. Thanks to Kelvin Efon, J.W. Madden. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. Coming up next, number 2 seed Arizona, number 7 seed Dayton. It's the second round of the NCAA tournament. You'll hear it here with Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen on Wildcats Radio 1290. Bear down, Arizona.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, First Choice Pools, The Good Feet Store, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Ram Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Right Way Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community Designed by Nature, University Termite and Pest Control.
Day in and day out, we're inundated.